Hey, that was really quick. We are live. A really great evening ahead, everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of November 2018. On the panel today, we have Kosta. Say hello, Kosta.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
We have our Patricia. I don't know if she's going to unmute again. She's just unmuted. We have David Giarmita. And of
Ciao.
course, hey. And then we have. So, good evening, everybody.
Hello.
And what was that sentence that you were just saying, Martin? Poor Martin, he thought we were already live. Go for it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to open by saying that, first of all, thank you for having us on.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic panel, really good people on there. I just wanted to start off by saying that the talk that we're going to do today, or what we're going to share today, is not about fighting the system or fighting anyone or challenging anyone or demonizing the powers that be. We are past that. We have no interest in fighting anything. Energy goes where attention flows. So if you're casting negative spells, you are attracting negative energy. And we don't do that. That's bad magic. That's bad spelling. We want to spell love. We want to spell intention. We want to reclaim. We want to take, not beg or ask. And we're going to manifest that intention today. So no negative talk. It's all positive. We're looking for truth, not exposing lies. Very big difference.
That's a really nice way of putting it, though. With love.
With love, with love. Something that we've come to realize quite quickly is that everything happens for a reason. I think I've said it in all my videos. You know, everything has a season, a time, a place, and a reason. No matter how evil or how bad things seem, it is meant to be that way at that time. We're all here to learn, and we can't learn from the universe if there isn't a duality to learn from, right? So the mature student, the student that has become enlightened, the adept, they are the ones who see past the illusion of division. There is no division. Division is the construct. It's the con, right? It's the lie. Once you see past the lie and you find the truth, you're free. The truth shall set you free. You are free from it. Really, really important. So etymology, our words, going back to what this talk is about today, the secrets of our universe, which Josh is going to speak about quite a lot today, the secrets of our universe are literally encoded in our language. And when we say language, it's not the actual words themselves, how they're written, it's the phonetics, the sounds, the nuances, right? So it's a very, especially English is a very complex code. A lot of the other languages like Spanish and Greek, like you mentioned earlier on, they are less coded. They are purer languages. They are closer to the original root language of Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the original physical root language. So today we're going to show just a few examples. I think Josh has pretty much deciphered it as close as possible. And we were researching today. It seems like there are a lot of occult people from the past, like Madame Blavatsky, Aleister Crowley, who are pretty much saying the same thing that we discovered separately. We're only doing it, research afterwards. We're like, wow, we figured this out. Internally. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Great. Sounds good to me.
It's beautiful. So we can start off by saying it's beautiful, okay? And I'm just going to give you a way to allow your own minds to be able to break down words in the future, because I'm only going to leave tools, for growth. And I'm going to just make it a little bit interactive.
You want to put it on the board maybe, and then...
I'll get it. I've just put the first word, right. Can everybody see this?
Hold on. Put it here.
Go on. Get out there. And all right.
To stand.
We can see.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, language is written forwards, backwards, intertwined, anagrams. It gets crazy, but we'll keep it very simple today. So right, can you see words within this word? Beautiful.
Yes.
What can you see?
Oh gosh, where is it? Let me go back to it. I'm going to put this on you because its camera's gone on me. B, full, it.
Right. So B, we know, yeah? AU is the alchemical sign for what?
Gold. It's a periodic element for gold, and all words that begin with AU are words of power. But yeah, gold, my brother. Go on.
Right. Tie. You know what ties do? Yeah? They tie you together or tie you to something, okay? And full. So if we rearrange this language, it will present the truth to us, as in, to be beautiful is to be tied full of gold. And gold is the sun. Okay? And the sun gives you 7 incandescent colors of light, which you have an aura. Can anybody see 2 words in aura?
Yeah, it's got Ra. Ra is the god, Elohim Ra. So Ra and Egypt, yeah. Nubia.
Sun, the sun god,
Golden sun.
the golden sun. Okay, you go down further from this. Everybody has this. Okay.
Right.
Can anybody explain to me what a shack is?
Go on, David. I'll leave that one for you.
No,
Or Kosta.
Just
No,
common. If everybody was, it's a shack, a house, a shack.
Yeah, it's just down to the phonics. You see, I'll go 2D. We can involve Kosta, but yeah, it's not necessarily SHACK or how shack. It's the phonics. Yeah, so shack house.
It's the phonics.
This is chakra.
Chakra, the way you say it.
The chakra systems are the 7 incandescent colors of light within the sun, within your body. But the chakra is the house of Ra, which is the sun. So these are clues written in our language for our subconscious to be able to decipher on our journey. Okay, this is just a very small example. I'm trying to just a tiny bit here. Okay, we're gonna go into other words because this is not that important for now. But this is our language, and it's been left for us very importantly. And I want you all just to be able to have this tool, because this is the tool everybody needs. Okay.
Brother, can you break down the word language then? Because I feel you already can know what I'm thinking here. Can you just do that then? And yeah, that would help the chat room and everybody there. It's you break that, yeah, and what it is. Yeah.
This is to gauge. Okay, so gauge is to measure, or a gauge is
Barometer.
Yeah. How could you explain gauge on the simplest form? There's a choice within the lower and higher of a gauge, yeah?
Scale.
I presume it's a scale. And lan comes from the root word monster. And Mr. Etymology, can I ask you what human being means in legalese?
Human being means in legalese. You have person. It's relevant to a legal fiction, and it's an entity. It is it's not man, it's a legal fiction entity. And what's comparable to person, monster, yeah, a human, persona. Personam is the Latin opposite to that. So yeah, go on, brother.
So a human being defined legally in legalese is defined as a monster, somebody that is not inherent to any land and has to pay taxes.
Correct.
Right? Lan is a representation of the monster, and gauge is gauge. So it is basically, depending on how you understand language, it depends on how you get yourself out.
How much of a monster are you? The more you can understand language, the less you understand about what you're spelling, the more of a monster you are, basically.
We speak Anglo-Babble over here, my man, and my words are not to be mistaken for anything from a society. What you hear from me tonight is just, I'd like to sit back and listen to your presentation if if I may. And I'm not
Brilliant.
Mr. Etymology. We are nurturers. I like what you say there, brother. I take that. We are well versed, but we're not misters. We're just trying to, spread the love and the peace and make the game a little bit more even. That's it. Yeah. Respect to you, man. Respect and love for that.
And all I'm here to do, I'm just going to be a flash in the pan. I'm just going to be here to just I have really good understanding of the subconscious, so I can almost allow something to attach to a subconscious and let it manifest within the being. So I'm here to do this for anybody that wants this. This is a slow manifestation within you, because you can only make your own personal journey. Everyone on here, you can only make your own journey. You can't follow me. You can't follow anybody. It's about your journey, your awakening, your time, your growth. Because these are triggers, mate. Subconscious triggers for you. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll just try and give a good presentation here. And if everybody is on the same level, we'll also kick in things to help people raise their vibration to acquire higher knowledge within the brain and get out of the matrix as quick as possible, etc., in 1 quick hour. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yep.
Right.
1 quick hour. Go.
1 quick hour. Let's start fresh.
I've got more paper, mate. You can turn it around.
So, George, can I add something there?
Yeah.
So, language means lingua from Latin, which means tongue, basically.
Lingua means tongue. Lingua.
Yeah,
I'm going to put the word lingua down.
UA, is it?
UA. Yes, UA. That's it.
Okay.
So, tongue. Yeah.
Cool.
That's where language comes from.
Okay.
And the same in Greek. When we say language, we actually say tongue. What tongue do you speak?
Do you speak? Like the ancients used to say tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mother tongue, your mother tongue, yeah.
Mother,
Italiano is my mother tongue, but I speak Anglo-Babble now. Yeah, this is true.
But it's very interesting the way you break up the words. Yeah, see, I think it's opening up a new dimensions.
I'll say, sorry, mate, you finish off. I was going to say words like this can be broken down, but I do not want to break them down yet, because it will scrabble what I'm trying to teach today.
Keep in sequence.
This is like a second, like this comes within after. You'll see simple signs within language. It allows you to have personal growth, personal smiles, and you walk around decoding things, and you'll be full awareness and very fast doing this yourself, Right. Where should we start? With language or?
Yeah. So we've done language, which is monster or being.
So we're going from here. Right. We'll just go with this. I'm going to give you the astrological things first. So planets itself. We can see the word plan written in this. And ET. And in our matrix, we've been presented with ET as extraterrestrial, for an example. And these things won't connect yet, but you will when you fully understand. And we know extraterrestrial is not alien life, it's just extra, which is more
terrain.
Land.
Terra. Terra is land.
Yeah, land. More land. Terra.
Terra firma.
Terra. Terra.
So basically, the planets allow you to plan
more land.
For more land. This is where Martin's presentation gets into it. So this is a part of the language, planets. You've got chakra systems, they align with planets. You have different vibrations, different chakras. So all of these things are connected right now to allow yourself masses of personal growth within our being, our state. But I can't give the answers. That's all I'm going to say. I can't give the answers here.
I suppose another good thing to just mention is that the reason why our languages were scrambled was for us to cast spells that we don't understand.
Yeah.
So we are manifesting this reality every day with our language without knowing it. We are Satan, right? So the word to live backwards is what?
Devil.
If you've lived, you've been the devil. If you live, you are evil.
Hello.
On a deep sense.
Right? Subconsciously, on a deep sense. So all these words, when you wake up in the morning, you say what? Good morning. You're mourning. What are you mourning? When you wake up, it's awake. What is awake? Awake is something you go to awake. It's a funeral.
The dead, the day of the
dead. You mourn the dead. Oh, it's backwards. Yes, this is the language of deception. Yes, you bang on there. We accept that. Yeah, it's cursive, curse words. It's cursive, isn't it? It's very good. You know,
Cursive words. Yes. So,
that, yeah. And with signature in legalese, it comes from a witch's sigil. Sigil, the words that begin with SIG. You know, magistrates, magician, magic. Yeah, I like where you guys are going. Carry on.
We'll go with that word magical.
That's a nice one, magical.
This is
the word magical. This is one of the most beautiful
magistrate,
words.
magician. Oh, wow.
Ready?
Your signature, witches. You bang on, boys.
So, Mr. Giarmita there, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Magical. Okay.
Yeah,
this is across board, and you'll see this through language. So, just because you're seeing it the first time now, please don't make the judgment that this is not connecting, because it will connect for you. Ma represents the mother. Okay.
Mother.
Ma is mother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As in matrix is ma, mother's tricks, as in the tricks of the mother. Okay.
Yeah.
So magical is a real word for us to see. It is the mother, G, I, cool. So magic happens when you actually call in the mother, you see?
The mother, G-I call, magic.
G represents the 7th letter in the alphabet, which is the Freemason god, the god of this realm.
No, excuse me. Can I interrupt?
Of course.
The G in Greek is the letter gamma, which is the 3rd letter.
Yeah, this
That's why number 3. That's why they use
right. That's fine, but we're talking English. We're in this English matrix right now. Our English language has been written in.
No, it sinks. It sinks because 3
is the Trinity.
Yeah.
It's the Trinity. It's the 3.
Gamma.
And that's why
it's G.
That's why it's God. Mother, God, I see. God is the Holy Trinity. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's God. That's everything. That's encompassing.
And
so that's correct.
There is 3 terms to every word, and you'll know you found the true meaning because it'll be forwards, backwards, and intertwined. There's no way out of the words you see, but it is a 3 in Greek, but it's also 7 in English language. I was just using English language today because it just makes things simple, you know. But they represent the same, and they would always represent the same. That's why days represents days, because everybody's walking around with a weekdays in the day, because we won't go there. But so using the word magical again, you can take it to miracle. And you find phonetically it's my, ra, cool. Just the same as magical is my mother, G-I, cool. Miracle is my, ra, cool. And we know ra is the sun. So miracles happen when we talk to the sun. But we must know which sun we're talking to. Let's get a little bit deeper into language and clues that have been left for us within the alphabet, etc. Exclamation marks, question marks, apostrophes, these sort of things. Okay. I'm going to write the word exclamation, question, okay. So the word question has a question mark attached to it. So if I was to say there's a quest that I'm on, to start with, subconsciously this word is saying to me there's a quest I'm on, and this is the mark.
A mission.
Okay? And the mission, you don't want to miss Zion. Yeah? So if we look into the sky, we can actually see a question mark. The Big Dipper next to the Little Dipper, that revolves around Polaris.
That's Polaris. That's the Big Dipper.
And this rotates. Please forgive my drawing. Swastika, the ancient sign of peace. The question mark is in the sky. That's the question mark for us. It's the quest that we are on, and it's the mark in the sky. Okay, it's been written for us in our language. As you get on in this, you get further and break down things, but we'll leave this as it is for now. Exclamation mark. We know mation from animation is movement. We know clay is clay, and X is not. So you are no longer the animation of clay. And we were told that we were made from clay. The sign that you're given is this. The black sun and the astral jet. We have, I'm going to go from animation to another one here.
Ion. Ion is a big one. Ions. So
oh, this is big though, but
yeah.
Go on.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like if you look up the word an ion scientifically, what is an ion? Does anyone know what an ion is scientifically?
Yeah, it's an element of electricity. It's how energy flows in ions and particles and electrons and things associated like that on an atomic or subatomic level. Yeah, energy transference. Yeah,
brilliant. So we're told scientifically in mainstream science that everything in our universe is made up of ions, and ions are protons, electrons, and neutrons working together, right? So they're basically saying that everything that moves in the universe is called an ion. Now look at how many words have ion at the end, right? Quest, ion, the quest of the ion. You are an ion because your being is ionic, right? So quest, Mr. Ion, what is your quest, right? What other words do we have with so many words?
Brothers, can I just? I'm sorry to be rude. I've got one. I've done this 2 weeks ago. This is a bit of synchronicity for you. I do the legal and lawful comparison. So I said we are all born under contractions. So if you could write the word contractions, the legal realm has you bound and contracted. When your head is crowned through the birthing canal of your mother and man is born, you are birthed in the legal arena, and the first thing they do is to put you under contractions, ions. And I used this 2 weeks ago, so this might fit in here for you. Lovely.
Brilliant.
Go on.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, excuse my handwriting.
One more. Can I say something?
Yep.
So quest, you have the word quest, very, very positive, very strong word. Quest, if you go to Greek, you have man, which is anthropos, human. Anthropos, like anthropology. Basically, anthropos, human, means somebody who is questing, who is seeking for something. This is a difference from animals. That's what makes us questing things.
Questing ions.
Questing ions.
Beautiful, yeah.
Exactly.
This can go as deep as we want it to go. Like this can really get really deep.
You're an ion. You want to be radiated, so you want radiation. Radiate ions. When an ion is radiated,
glowing,
it glows.
Yeah, right? Going to Zion.
In Zion, isn't it? In a Bob Marley song? Like
Zion.
Zion in Zion.
Zion backwards is noise, and noise is the frequency.
Frequency.
It's always forwards, backwards, intertwined, but you'll always find it, when you work hard enough. So we know in the whole world, okay? So I'm going to just go
contract.
Pro is for, con is against. We're obviously all aware of pros and cons. T-ract is a tesseract, going deep into our body. Tesseract is what we are, basically. So they're conning your tesseract. They're conning you. So a contract is basically...
And tract is like movement.
And it's also a written... how can I put it?
An agreement, a term, like...
yeah, that's it. Yes, it's an written agreement term between an entity of another entity. So it's basically against that. You'll find this con in the tesseract. It's like the tract is also a meaning for what you just described there. Because my head's trying to come back to a long time ago for me with this language to try and get it out, and it's quite hard for me to do this. But yeah, that's exactly right. So they're conning you with a piece of paper, basically.
Yeah.
We'll go into legalese language a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Parliament. Okay. We've got a government. Everybody knows what governing the mind does to us. You've got a government. You got a parliament. You really need to understand that this is literally just controlling your mind. It's governing your thought processes. It's created your thought processes. Everything you wear, everything you watch, everything you do is pretty much not you personally, guys. I'm just saying, as we were born into this world, generally, we have no original thought. Yeah, nothing. So they're actually governing the mind so well, so well. This is what you need to break free from.
Yeah, and and religion. Do you know you can do religion with that as well? Ligature, lig, and ion. I'm just sorry, I don't want to lose because I'll forget it if I don't say it, brother.
That's all right. No, religion. Legion is like a reunion as well. It's also like membrane.
It's government and control. Like you just made me think of the ion, lig, ion, and government, parliament. Sorry, but yeah, it's
brilliant. Yeah, beautiful. Yes.
Now you spark, mate. You're going to go on now.
Control.
Can you do this one for me? Because it'll help you break it down. If we were just to say I was going to pass someone off, what would you think?
Who's going to pass somebody off?
Yeah, like a par.
You just pass them over. Pass. It's like a pass.
Pushing them.
Parlay. Do you want to parlay? It's come from the French. So par, pass, shove, move.
Okay. So what's a lie?
Lie. Well, phonetically. Yeah.
A lie.
Yeah. It's an untruth. It's a false. It's a deceptive. So a lie. Yeah.
And meant is the mind. Yeah.
Yes. Meant. Yes. Agreed. Yeah.
So they're parring lies to your mind.
Moving lies, managing, pushing lies to the mind. Yeah. Go, Vern, meant, go, Vern, Italian for green, meant, mind, go, green, mind. I see it as.
Beautiful.
And also govern is a form of control. You govern land, you control the land, yeah?
Yeah. Con, sequences, sequence after the con again. Yeah, I see it.
And then you've got literally controller of the mind.
Contract. Yeah, all the words that begin with con are generally bad, we see, brother, yeah.
They are only bad. They are only bad. We just haven't figured out why they're bad yet. Yeah.
Well, they're not bad. We're just using them wrong.
Well, yes.
Yeah, we're using them the wrong way.
Yeah, but I love you boys, and that there's a powerful spell. That phonetics. It's I'm not being I've got a missus here, and I'm completely as I should be in the realm. But when you say to the realm and yourselves and others, that it's down to the spells, as you said. I was interested in that spell business and your breakdown. It's very interesting.
So when everybody has their children, for example, or even as adults, and you go to a party, you're getting parred off with a tie, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To keep you busy, yeah? They're parring you off with ties.
Yeah, I've done this as an ex-DJ, so yeah, go on. Agreed. Mashed up the place.
Just as houses are proper ties, they're also per ties. Per is for, per is each. You go one per child, it's each. For each tie, proper ties. You live in a proper tie. We've been governed in the mental. Had lies parred off to our mind. We're drinking fluoridated water, living in houses, paying council tax, going to work every day, living inside work, sleeping in a house, having no friends as neighbors, and paying for this privilege. A privilege is actually to pry from the village. Pry is to take away. As in prison is to take away the sun. You pry the sun. And what...
Can we get another paper?
Yeah. And the only thing that gets us into these states of having our son taken away and put into a box, which is us, is our...
It's a bit of a shame our children weren't learning this, isn't it?
Well, it's not really a shame. Like we said, right time, right place. It wasn't the right place and the right time. But what's happening now is, like I was saying in my previous presentation, we are shifting ages, we are waking up. So now is the time for us to start figuring this stuff out, because we're coming out of our sleep, of our slumber. So over the last few thousand years, whilst we're in the Iron Age, in the dense age, we had to be in that dark duality in order for us to wake up and learn from it, so we don't repeat it individually as souls. Because again, the meaning of life is experience, learn, grow, move on. So we're here to experience, we're here to learn, we're here to grow, and then we move on. So this is what we're doing now. We've experienced the darkness of casting bad spells, and the result is this crazy world we live in, right? We're now learning and decoding how we've done that, how we've manifested this crazy world through our language, right? And then we will change this reality as we share this information and begin to cast new spells over time. So it's good, Karen. Everything has a time and a place. So we shouldn't look back in the mirror and say we should have or could have, because we are. We're in the now.
So just some words while he was talking. I just thought I'd write them down and get them out because it allows me to see them.
Okay, Martin.
So the word time itself, subconscious language, I explained last time, everything subconscious, this language is written forwards, backwards, subconscious can't lie. Our actual subconscious speaks every sort of 15 seconds. In reverse, we can do this, play it. Children start speaking it as young as 3 months, just play them backwards, you'll find it every 15 seconds. So time, to time me, you're tied to time, okay? This is just an example what the word means to the subconscious. A clock, C is the third letter in the alphabet. It also represents C and sight, Trinity, etc., etc. But we'll have this all for you guys. So C is a Trinity lock. You're locked in time with the Trinity. And literally your watch is called a watch because you keep watching it. And you see how language is almost just telling us without us seeing it. And then it unfolds and it becomes quite funny. So the word right itself, everything right is obviously good, yeah? Because it's right. As in righteousness is just the right choice. We have our rights in law, for example. But it doesn't mean your rights, it means your rights. If you have an ability to be able to think with the right side of your head, it's kind of like your rights, is they're giving you a little bit of that, okay? So what you don't want to do is have rights, privileges, or anything within law, because law itself is a wall, okay? And there's no point in playing a game with this. No point.
You won't win.
There's no point in getting involved. What we need to do is stop fighting with the wall and start creating ourselves. We've just been governed in our mental, right? It's about time we started to get together with our friends at first and put our money where our heart is. Where our heart is. And we need to stop spending £1,000 a month to stay in a box that you're not expressing or experiencing. You're tied down to this proper tie with paying rent, taxes, drinking water that's fluoridated, probably having to buy water from the shop. It causes mass expenses. And why didn't we just buy grazing land, buy cheap caravans until we help each other build log cabins? That won't take long. Plant our own trees with fruit on, because fruit is the healing food, and fruit itself will present it as saying, for you it, healthy food is heal thy. The only thing that your body uses in fruit, I'm sorry if I'm diverting, but this is just hard to teach because it's been quite far back, you know. Amino acids. Everybody goes on about proteins. It's amino acid. Does everybody know what causes disease? Like acidity, yeah? So acidic food causes disease, dis-ease. Amino acid is am, in, no, acid. So there is no acid in amino acids. It's am in no acid.
Disease is dis-ease. Muted. Disease is dis-ease in yourself.
It's not something what people think it is. It's just you're not at ease. You're at dis-ease. That's right. So the language will tell you. Then if we want to go into this type of language, which is just sparking a few thoughts, we all go to the doctors, yeah, to get well, okay? And we go to get a diagnosis, yeah? Can anybody tell me what gnosis is?
Knowledge.
You can. Knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Phonetically, English has many meanings, as all language does, but this means bad, dire, okay? Dire is bad, like diabolical.
It's dire.
Dire straits, dire. So on one side, diagnosis is just telling you it's bad knowledge. And then you go and they treat your mental.
Treatment.
They treatment you. So they just treat your mind. Dire also means through or throughout. So it could also mean on the flip side, just through knowledge. But there's many meanings to language, which you will see. So
this is where it does. Is this where intent comes into it? Right?
This is where intent and the subconscious. So the subconscious is actually picking up on this, where your conscious mind is in a daze, in the weekdays. By the weekend, you're so weakened that they give you a rest. And the place of rest for a human is a forest. It's for rest. It's your trees, it's your ionic discharge. The trees have a bark, okay? Can anybody tell me phonetically, arc? If something was arc, what would it be? Electrical?
Yeah.
Like an arc welder? The Ark of the Covenant, yeah? B is the second letter in the alphabet. It means two, yeah? There's a two-way arc with the tree. And you've heard of the saying tree huggers, okay? And trees are your opposite. The earth is called earth and ground for reasons of electrical reasons. We are ions, everybody. Positive, negative, or neutral. What do we choose? It's all our choice. And it only comes within. Positive, negative, or neutral. If I can emphasize that, it's all our choice. And the most important thing we can all realize, which my beautiful wife brought into my life, is we must maintain, if you want anything in our reality to work for us, virtues. 7 sins and 7 virtues. This, if I can not leave it on this, but leave this with everybody's minds, this is one of the most important things in your world. Okay? The most important thing in your world. To be virtuous in every action will allow you trusting with the spirit world, shall we say, trusting within, trusting with your subconscious upgrades. You'll allow self-manifestation of growth as your, let's just say Dr. Strange isn't too strange, okay? So this is very important. Key, study it, everybody. Study the virtues. Study the virtues. He who governs himself virtually will be like the polar star, okay? So this is very important. That was just besides language. We're going to stray from language just for 1 second until it just pops back. Food is light. In this, you can see right, might, sight, powerful, or religious. So food is light. Light is DNA. DNA is held back by food and water. The only way that we can consciously upgrade our bodies with light is by changing the way we eat. We've been given a standard diet. Okay, I can see die written in that. Okay, T is the 20th letter, but it also represents your strawman. Okay, but we won't get to there too much, but that's why S and T are in front of strawman. Okay, the S represents you and the T does. We'll get deeper into it. So the diet is basically putting yourself on the cross with what you're eating. T's also fold up into boxes. We've been trapped from every single angle, and this is basically the beginning of your soul's growth. If you've missed this, then this is very, very, very important.
In essence, our food contain the ions that activate DNA, which is why they have to condition us to eat certain foods and certain things in food, which is why they put certain things into our ionic body. Fluoride in the water, making us eat meat and dairy and cheese, getting us addicted to the wrong foods because we're addicted to them. The reason for it is because they know it blocks your ionic DNA upgrades.
No light in
There's
meat.
no light.
There's no light in meat. It's dense. It's the most densest form of anything you can have.
Okay, I know a lot of people are not going to like this because, you know, diet is probably the hardest program to break. I think definitely the hardest addiction we've been given to break. But it's so important. Until you break that cycle, that addiction, the light you're going to have very, very little light within you, very little.
We all want to be this
light. All in the food.
We all want to be this light body that we've all dreamt about, seen about, this spirit thing, all those little. You know, that dream as a child, having the ability to do things that we didn't think we could have and all we dreamt about. Well, that's possible. But it starts with this. Honest, guys.
Cleaning your ions, cleaning your body, detoxing, changing your diet, drinking clean water, distilled water. It's a lot of effort and a lot of work. But like they say, you know, nothing comes easy. You've got to, what you put in is what you get out.
Platonic retroduction will basically tell you that we live on Earth. What grows from Earth drops its fruit. We're coded to Earth. Okay? So if it hasn't grown from the ground, it shouldn't be going in our body. If we want to have any sort of experience here.
True experience, reality.
Yeah, true experience. Because what we've been given is an experience from a creation of another. Not within. It's about, you know, it's you get too deep.
In other words, it's pointless doing all the legal name fraud stuff and going after government and reclaiming land if you are not living by the virtues of this reality. If you're eating wrong, if you're speaking wrong, there's no point in challenging the government. You will not win. You won't win because you're living in a satanic paradigm. You're following the wrong rules, the wrong principles. So your magic spells will not work. The ionic sounds, or is it sounds, the frequency, the vibrations of what you're saying have got darkness. They're not light. So you've got no power. And this is where a lot of people are going wrong. So they've got the knowledge, the gnosis. They're reading all these books and they're going, oh yeah, I read this book and etymology and language. But applying it for something to actually physically happen is a different thing. Now, we've been trying it, and it's worked. We've done magic spells, and they're manifesting themselves. But we know that we're managing to do that because we're working on our virtues.
You will never get any responsibility or any sort of increase in ability if you cannot be trusted with it. And this is why this whole paradigm is set in such a way, because you have to go through all the levels of experience within this paradigm to go back to Ether Den, Eden, to create your own little world, you know. But we're here in experience now, and the only way it works is through this. This is the key. It works with virtues.
And also, energy does not discriminate, right? So energy doesn't choose. Energy goes where attention flows. So there are people who use the same principle. They are good virtues, but they can also be bad virtues. These are what we call the Satanists, right? Blood rituals, pedophilia, murder, right? They do those things because they're manipulating energy. They're doing magic rituals, dark magic, black magic. So they've got to put dark energy into their spell in order to get a dark outcome from that. Now, if we, as light beings, want to put in good energy into the universe and good spells and spell out good things and spell out a positive paradigm, we've got to put in good energy into us for us to output good energy as well. Energy goes where attention flows. Charity begins at home. So again, I'm going to say this once more again. There's no point in saying I want to change the world if you cannot change the virtues within you first. If you're eating dead animals and you're contributing to the death of other beings on Mother Earth, your virtues are wrong. Don't talk about changing the world. Change yourself first. And when you do that, you'll begin to change your reality around you, right? And the more you increase your virtues, right, the more karmic points, the more ions you're introducing into your aura, like we said earlier on.
Resonance.
The more resonance,
frequency,
the more of a magician you become. The more of a wizard you become. The more of a witch. Let's do witch. Next one. You become. Got a piece of paper? The more of a witch you become.
Yeah, we can get negative ions. We need the negative ions out of the ground.
This is why we need to ground our feet daily, minimum for 10 minutes, because there's a negative discharge between us and the ground. And this is what people aren't doing as well. You get trainers to train you on your feet.
Let's do witch. We've been all taught to fear witches, haven't we? But when you hear the word witch, what do you think? Witch? Which one?
Well, you're going to think of a nasty person doing horrible things. Opposite, yeah.
Okay. Or you could also think of it as what? Which one? Which?
Sun or
choice?
Moon. Sun or moon.
Sun or moon.
Which?
Choice.
They're witches. They have a choice.
So the word witch comes from the word choice, switch.
So it's the same thing that they've done with like they do with most things. They make it sound like it's wrong and something else when really the complete opposite. Yeah,
absolutely. Once you figure out how to alchemically, literally change the life around you using your spells and your energy, and you can manifest things physically, literally, you become a witch. You're able to create choice for yourself. Which one am I going to choose?
You'll be able to leave,
I'm a witch.
Leave and come back.
Oh.
But
that's where it comes from. I'm a witch. I can choose. Choice.
So basically, I say, Martin, you're a witch.
Absolutely. But we're programmed to fear that. We're programmed to be afraid of it, to burn witches. When you find someone who can create their own reality, fear them. Burn them. We want people we can control, not people who can create their own reality, not people who can change the system using gnosis. Fear them. Fear someone who can create a witch or a switch. Someone who can switch the reality should be feared. Programming.
Again.
We did this word last time, okay? But realities. It's like an express for the subconscious language of ourself. It's real. 9 is the feminine 9, okay? It's the number of the subconscious world. Our subconscious is the only thing that's real. It's real subconscious ties. Reality is basically tied in with the conscious mind. And we've literally had our conscious mind programmed in a way that our subconscious mind projects this. So that is a very important subconscious word for you just to see there. Reality is a real subconscious tie. And it's beautiful. Like if you can really get to the depths and see that, that's amazing. Like straight up beautiful. Like real subconscious ties. And this is why number numerology, Pythagorean numerology, and Chaldean numerology, and all this stuff comes into everything. But there's not enough time. This is the spark. Everybody needs to just have their journey. And yeah, we speak language, but we study ancients. But our language is been written for us in this matrix, so it's for us now. Just as the Testament, the Bible is changed. So we'll talk about the Holy Bible a second, because that's just a word. Holy Bible, and it's a testament, yeah? So, literally, if someone said there's a hole or a holy hole, what would you think as a hole? Yeah? It's a holy. It's a hole.
Complete, full.
It's a void.
Full.
Dielectricity, magnetism, we live on the plane of inertia of a torus. Holy. Bi means two. Bulls. The holy two bulls. The sun and moon and the whole in this realm.
Right.
And the testament is a test for the mind. So depending on your level of awareness, it'll be dependent on how you decipher the Bible. The Bible is one of the most beautiful texts in the world, but there's so many layers to the onion. You just got to keep going, because it really is a test for the mind. The goal, I'm going to write some stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. You just use that analogy, layers of the onion. Onion is spelled what? On ions. Layers to the ions, to the on ions.
If you have a sore throat, it's a good remedy to eat raw onions or turn your ions on to allow yourself to heal. Right, we're going to go to this one now. All you see. Look at that. That's right. I break language down so different, I've forgotten how to spell. Right, so hallucinations, and what was the other one? The halls of Amenti. If you've never heard of these, then one day you will definitely cross paths with the halls of Amenti on your journey. The halls of Amenti is basically the ancient word for hallucination. The halls of Amenti is the halls of a mind, subconscious. So it's the halls of the subconscious mind, and this is where information is kept. And you have to have an awareness of subconscious to be able to get the information from here. This will lead you wherever you need to go after you've connected all this. So
is it connected to the Akashic records?
This is the Akashic record, yeah. If you have an understanding of that as well. I won't translate that one second. So hallucination is the same meaning in our language as this, okay? The halls of Amenti, hallucinations. Hallucinations is the hall you see subconscious nations. The hall you see I is number 9. There's also I, etc., etc. But I is number 9, and it represents the feminine energy of God, the subconscious nations. So we talk hallucinations and think it means something completely different, but it's literally the hall that you see the subconscious nations.
And this now goes back. He's just done. 9. Tesla said 9 was the most important number in the world, didn't he? 9, the number of God.
3 and
right?
6.
9, 3, and 6. But 9 is God, right? 9 and I. Yeah. Oh, I is the 9th letter, and I sounds like the I.
And that's where the I has the dot.
So when you see those celebrities doing that, this is what they're telling you. We are now subconscious. We understand subconscious reality. They're not saying they're evil per se. They're telling you we now understand subconscious reality. We now understand the 9,
Beautiful.
The I.
Now we go to this. This is
That's what they're saying. When you see the I on the dollar, they're telling you it's a subconscious contract. It's subconscious.
Do this one.
Yeah, 9/11.
L.
Even.
Twin pillars. Freemasonry. Explain this. Twin pillars. So 11 is the L even. L is God. Evening out the God within you. So this is a representation of the twin pillars, okay, in Freemasonry, which is.
Can I just ask something. So what you're saying as well is it isn't just the words, it's the apostrophes, the dots, it's
everything. It's layered. It's the code is not especially English. That's why we said English is probably the most complex language to decode.
This is the one.
But it's the most beautiful language to decode because the truths, even though they're so well hidden, are a lot clearer to see once you decode it. It's easier to decipher.
So we've got 9/11, and the 11 represents the twin pillars of Freemasonry. The twin pillars are your left and right brain. Okay, your left brain represents the programs, right represents the spirit world or the subconscious. Okay, 9 is the number of God or subconscious. Okay.
Oh right, so that how it has to be 9 then. It has to everything has to add up to 9.
So what? So what is this saying to you as a subconscious?
When 9/11 happened, what were they doing? It's a ritual.
It's a ritual. They are attaching a story to the subconscious to allow the twin pillars in your mind to either upgrade or downgrade, depending on your level of awareness. You either see it as something that is terrible, and terrible is the terrible, by the way, or you can see the good in it. I know that sounds sadistic, but it's all a stage.
In other words, 9/11 was created
as a mind control program.
Not just a mind control program to keep us more controlled, but also to wake us up.
It's a twin pillar choice here.
It was a choice. So they said this will either wake people up or it will make them fall deeper into sleep.
Numbers 9 and 11. That's all it is. Subconscious twin pillar.
So basically, they're putting the little tests out and they're seeing what happens with the people.
Not really the test. It's a part of the simulation. Like, you know, the Testament. You're in a scripture. It's a scripture. You have free will. So what you're seeing is everything unveil within you. Everything's all known in the subconscious world, but the conscious world, like, let's con chess, okay? Con chess. Chess is the chessboard in Freemasonry. Is con good or bad? I'm leaving it there. So, so 9/11 literally is something that has to attach itself to your mind, and it's help. It's helping you either digress or progress or degress. You know, it's literally that's all it's there to do.
And how many people were woken up by 9/11? They started questioning reality through 9/11. They realized that that was an inside job, and it triggered them along that journey of starting to wake up. So it was a 911 call.
Everybody
to the universe.
Everybody goes to their house to stay in after they go to work. Nobody knows what actually goes on the world. Nothing goes on. You're governed in your mind. Nothing goes on. TV's a script. Stop watching it. Turn it off and start living your lives, guys. Apostrophe that you said earlier, it's a word. It was a word that made me think, because even you said even apostrophes and etc. Yeah. So a right. Post is after, yeah. Trophy, just like post office, we're going to go to that one after. Right there, we're going to office after. A post trophy, the trophy you get after, yeah. It's the trophy you got after something, yeah. And the apostrophe is always attached before the S or the T, okay. And I was telling you about the S and T represents you, okay? But this is an attachment, okay? An attachment is attached to the mind. So if anything's attached to the mind, it's a left brain thought process that keeps you attached to this physical world and allows the spirit to just keep degrading. So when you remove this, nothing belongs to you, and this is when you get your trophy. After you've done that, there's no attachments. And this is how deep language, like this obviously gets deeper than this, but this is how deep language you need to see it as. It's a post trophy. It's the trophy after. It's literally put before the S or the T. You can't.
So this is why the exclamation mark, everybody thinks that's like a full stop, like the ending, but it's not. When you put an exclamation mark, you're actually inviting energy.
Home.
Yes.
Exclamation. You're no longer the physical. Clay. You're made of clay.
And when do you use an exclamation mark?
Usually when you're trying to make a point.
When you're trying to make a point. What is a point? Right? What is a point? You're trying to find a place. You're trying to find somewhere, a place, a point. You know, it's a place. So when you make when you put an exclamation mark, or when you exclaim something, you're trying to find your point. You're trying to find the answer. Right? So question and exclamation, good things. Because you're questioning, you're exclaiming.
I go, no, it's positive. It's not negative. It's positive.
Positive.
So, post office law, yeah? Post office was the first court. Dave, you aware of that?
I think
Go for it, yeah.
It's gone, yeah. Post office was basically the first court.
Oh, can I very quickly explain, just so that the chat room, David's had to go because he's had a bereavement.
Oh, right. Love Dave. All the best, mate.
It's his girlfriend, so that's why he's left the chat room. Yeah, so he's very sorry. I've got kind of a message for you later, but carry on.
Cool. So the post office, post we know from is after, yeah? Post means after. Post office is off ice, okay?
So basically, we've got no idea what we're saying.
Not a clue.
No.
Every word that you're saying is casting a spell into the universe, into the Ethernet. So that saying that you hear all the time, people saying, be careful what you say, words create your reality, is literal.
Fuck it.
It's literal. It's not just a saying, an airy-fairy saying. It is a literal saying. So they've put these words in our English language for us to say them subconsciously, and we are creating this crazy. We are doing this to ourselves. No one is doing it to us.
No one's had an original thought.
But this, what we're doing now, is original thought. You can't teach this. You can't learn this. You can't be taught this in a textbook. This is a tool for your this is the tool, guys. This is the tool, man. So office is off ice, yeah. So this is when we get into maritime admiralty law of the sea. Justice is just ice. You know, you've heard like you're treading on thin ice. When you get justice, you're just on ice. So you don't get in trouble or you don't get caught with a statute.
Just on ice. My goodness.
You're just treading on thin ice, mate. This is just ice. A police officer patrols the off ice, yeah? So the waters, yeah? So
can I ask you something? If you're going to break all those words down, would you do etymology and cosmology then?
Beautiful, yeah. So, that's beautiful, right? When you're on the waters, when you're on the land, when you're here on earth, you're on the ship. This is why we use admiralty law, because this land we're standing on is inside the waters. Does that make sense? On the plane.
Busyness.
Right? The ice wall, the walls that separate the different realms, those are no man's lands. That's ice. You're on ice. There's no law in Antarctica. There's no law in the Arctic. Ice. There's no law.
So language has been based universally off sort of that, you know?
Based off that. So when you get off icer, is someone who's patrolling something off the ice.
The waters.
Off on the waters.
Which is the law.
An officer cannot arrest you when you're on ice.
Right, ready for this one, guys? Ready? Driver, yeah? River. The river. A river, okay? You're in water. You're in a boat, for real. Like, they made the roads look like rivers. And cement is not cement, it's cement. It's sea mind. It makes you think you're in the sea. It's cement. Yeah? And this, I don't know if everybody's following this, but I hope one day you'll see this.
I'm sure they are.
It's cement. It's literally cement. It's
sea as in the sea.
SEA ment as in mind. It's giving you the sea mind, and that's why you got river written in driver, because you're on the waters. So every time people are driving their car.
And D is the fourth letter.
Yep.
And I did the Fantastic Four video. 4 is the number of form.
Elements all together.
Right? All the elements all together. So when you see that number 4, D, we are manipulating the form, the 4, that you're in to seem like a river.
And redshift is to reform. R-E, rightfully establish. D, for, form. So redshift is to reform, to reincarnate. Blue shift is be luminous, bioluminous. The two lights entwined. Twilight. That's what you get. But yeah,
something. You're talking about the English language. Is it that this is just about the English language, or does this the same for everybody's language?
Every language.
Everybody's got the same.
Every language. Yeah. And the languages they're not always a direct switch. So some words might not work in a different language because the codes differ. So whoever created the Greek language put codes in that language to deceive Greek people. But the codes are not always exactly the same as the codes in the Spanish language or the codes in Swahili or Chinese. But it's all coded.
What you speak is for you. It's that simple. Don't get confused. Don't worry about which Bible you're reading. The New Testament is for the new mind, and you must read the new one because it's for the new mind, the new tongue, the new language, the new way we speak. And that's why it's changed. People think it's changed because they're trying to not tell you secrets. No.
But English is special because English is the newest coded language of all languages. This is why English is probably the best one to decode. This is why everyone speaks English in this realm. That's why English is the number one language.
Business.
Because it's the business language of this realm at the moment. So if you can decode English, you can decode the business language or the spells, the main spells in this realm. Does that make sense?
Yes, you're making sense. The chat room are loving it.
And what he's saying by making sense is another subconscious word that we hear and say every day. It's like, I'm trying to make sense of this, yeah? Think about it. I'm trying to make sense. Like, I need to make new senses. I'm trying to make new senses. Yeah, you've only had 5, but there's many senses. You just need to make them. So it depends on if you really want what you feel in your heart.
Another good way of putting it is, most people out there will see this and read this with their 5 senses, and this won't make sense. They'll say this is nonsense. It doesn't make sense because they're only seeing it with the 5 senses. They're not trying to make sense. Right? We've got many senses, so you need to unlock the senses hidden in you, the subconscious senses. So you need to try and make new sense. Right?
Right.
It's literal. So when someone says, is that making sense? It's a literal spell. Are we creating new senses within you? Are we awakening a new sense within you? Are you having a new sense of understanding, a new sense of seeing things, a new sense of reality? Right?
So does that mean now you know all this, that you say the words very specifically, very articulately? Do you like?
I will say good, happy rising, for an example, instead of good morning, because I'm no longer morning. I'm aware of who I am. So yeah, the language has changed for me massively.
But in saying that, because obviously there's no way you would be able to, if you started speaking in the original undeciphered tongue, you wouldn't make sense to anyone. You just sound like you're just stringing words that don't make sense. So what I would say is, once you become conscious of this, or not conscious, once you become subconscious of this language, right, your intent changes. Your subconscious intent changes. So those spells stop working because it all goes back to your intent. So I'm not saying everyone should stop speaking English or fear speaking English or hate English. No, we love it. But what we're saying is, be conscious of what it's doing. Be conscious of what you're saying, especially when your intent is not in the right place. When you're angry, right, and you say something bad, you're casting a bad spell. But because your intent is in a dark place, you are manifesting that dark energy. Right? If you're in a good place, if you have good intent, there is no word that you can say that will create a bad energy. Right? If I go up to someone and I say, "Oh, Josh, you cunt." Sorry, I use that word.
It's actually a nice word.
It's a nice word. But if I said that with the right intent, he doesn't get offended because the energy behind it is good.
Mm-hmm.
But if I said it in a negative way, I'm casting a bad spell, he will get upset and he will react. Because the energy, the intent is different.
If I'm not protected,
it's all energy.
If I'm not protected in my subconscious mind, you know, like you shouldn't watch films if you haven't got protection within a subconscious mind, because it can just overfill your head with too much vision and create havoc within your mind. You know, you got to make your mind clear first, get rid of all the clutter, and rebuild it. This is what the twin pillars are. That's what a 9/11 was a representation of: destroying your twin pillars and rebuilding them. You know, you got to start from scratch. Everybody, we've been programmed, man.
And going back to free choice, the so-called elites, we won't mention names, but the people that control this realm, they know that everything in our universe is governed by the mind. They know that, obviously, which is why they created things like governments. They also know that there is a thing called free choice.
Well,
they cannot force anything upon anyone, right? So what they've done is they've hidden the free choice within our words and our numbers and TV and government. So we don't know what the real choice is.
It's funny.
We're dazed and confused. So we are literally, through our ignorance, we're saying, yes, we want to be governed. Yes, we want you to do the things you're doing. So when they make a movie, they have to give us the choice. They have to put the truth in a movie, but they have to mask it with a lie if that's the outcome they want. And you have a choice. If you watch that movie with blind eyes, with only your 5 senses, you're going to see the lie and your mind will be governed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, like what Josh has just said, if you freed your mind and you watch the movie with a new pair of eyes, you learn, you're growing from it.
Mm-hmm.
So they can either destroy you or build you.
They're all 9/11, every film.
Everything is 9/11.
Every film that's ever been made by a player in the game, it's all 9/11. They're all master occultists. Even
Can I just ask a question? Sorry, before it disappears off. Barris, he wanted to ask a question to Josh or to Martin. Does he know about reverse speech? Does that make any difference?
Yeah, we just said it earlier. Reverse speech is the most important thing in the whole world you could ever get to grips with. It's subconscious. The subconscious language cannot lie, and it's only in reverse. Professor David Oates, as we said last time, is the one to study with that. It allows you to get your inner stand in, and then it's off on your own. Get your reverse speech, talk to little children, babies who can't speak, play it backwards and have fun, and start learning the truth for yourself. Don't never trust no one else. It's down to you. Not me or Martin, it's down to everybody. And once you've done it, you'll be so empowered that you'll just be able to walk away from your matrix without no fear. You'll be happy. You'll start talking to your friends. You'll start meeting with your friends. You'll start living with your friends. You'll start creating with your friends. And before you know it, you're just in a totally different paradigm, waiting for whatever's coming. And then you're just happy. The only reason why we're not happy is because our soul is not fulfilled. We're going to work, and work is war with the K. The K is the twin pillars, the 11th letter in the alphabet again. So you're going to war with the mind. You don't need to go to work for money. Money is irrelevant. It's paper. It's the belief back behind it. We need food and shelter. Fields are out there to claim. A council is nobody. It's they work for you, and that's it, you know. It's entirely up to you what you do with your existence here. And I wouldn't waste it, you know. I don't want to be that man who figures it all out at the last minute, you know.
And going back to reverse speech, right? Okay. Language itself, the words don't mean anything. Everything comes back to sound and resonance. These words, all this aggression, but it means nothing. It means nothing. Real root language is about sounds. Om, ion, shion, right? Ma, g. That's what creates. It's the sound. It's the resonance of the sounds you're making. It all comes back to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, a, e, I, o, u.
7 again.
That is real language. If we're really getting right to the base of it, language is sounds. It's not words.
The Solfeggio scale.
The Solfeggio scale. Sorry. Yeah. So when you say things in reverse speech, right? because you're not concentrating on the nuance of the words, you're only hearing the sounds of the words. The sounds don't lie. Sound cannot lie. It's the rearrangement of the sounds that create the lie. So reverse speech is subconscious speaking, because you're now listening with a different sense. You're now listening to that thing that's being said reversed. You're hearing the tones and not the nuances or the words. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, the chat room are loving it.
So reverse speech backwards is actually sheep servie. If you get yourself a reverse speech player, you say reverse speech and play it backwards, it will say sheep servie. If you say speech reversal, you'll get serve you sheeps. Love, I love you, written backwards, we said it last time, is we're evil here. It's all subconscious, it's all trying to help. That's what it is. Will backwards is law. Will is the only law in the universe. Love and will. This is like the realms of Aleister Crowley, where people said there is no law. Do what thou will. Love is the law, and it's all about the will, you know. This is beautiful stuff, what he's leaving for us, you know. So yeah, just another thing with the language. You got aggression, regression, progression. So the word aggression isn't aggression. There's actually aggression is a word, yeah, or gress, okay? Gress, yeah, gress. And we go even a congress, right? So they con your gress. So gress is an actual word itself that we have no understanding of. We've never spoke of it, but it's a word.
Or the sound, actually.
Because it's ag, re, pro, and con. They're words. Re is to rightfully establish or bring something back to its original state. Regression. Yeah. Pro is for, gress. So the gress is the word that you really want to find out here. Congress. They're conning your gress. What's your gress? Yeah. So these are the things that will allow you to sort of see that, whoa, I just seen that word and that word and that word and that word in those words. And I really need to find out what that means.
So we know what ion is. Ion is you. So progress ion means pro means it's for you. It's for ions, but what's gress?
We'll leave that one for you guys, because this will allow growth. Okay. So what is gress? Find it out. Have some fun with the language. Has anybody got anything they want to talk about? Does anybody want to talk about food, diet, healing? Is there anything? What is a comet?
And a good thing is this language, where it becomes practical for you in your everyday life, is we are now starting to understand what foods heal what and where by knowing what the word is. It's encoded in the word. Again, the 11, the 2 pillars. The words have a bad spell, but there's a good spell hidden in them as well. So if you're unwell, disease, right? If you know how to decode these words, you can literally open a dictionary of herbs or fruits, and if you decode those words, that decoding will tell you what you should eat with the symptoms that you have.
For example, cannabis itself, you know, is the cane of 2 sexes, cannabis, but it also is can in it, and I is a number of the subconscious, and we all know that it's a neuroconnector that allows you to get access to higher thought realms. So the word itself will explain it to you.
Can means
I can.
Can I please? I is the God. Subconscious, right?
I is the 2.
By is the 2. And then S
positive
is obviously
positive and negative, and the S is the attachment to us. And that's why we have an endocannabinoid system within us. It's a very important plant for healing of our body, because we've been missing out on it. The first plant on record in Sanskrit is a very important part to play in our personal growth. Hence why King Solomon had it on his temple. King Solomon wasn't a king, he wasn't a man. Same as the man with the round table, King Arthur.
King Arthur.
They weren't real, they weren't even kings. It's just ideologies and 9/11s. That's all it is.
Same with Christopher Columbus, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all 9/11s back in the day. They're for now. King Solomon is the solo man. His temple is you, and the tools he had are the tools for you.
Is that like the word when we go, oh, I'm nowhere, but actually you're saying I'm here now?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another one of my favorite is going back to the sounds is the sound om. When you hear someone going what are they doing? Meditating. The monks. They're trying to speak to God. They're trying to communicate. So om is the word to try and get into the astral realms, into the Akashic records. Now, someone might laugh and say, "Oh, that's ridiculous. That's stupid." But if I ask you a question, Karen, and I said, "Karen, what do you think about this?" and you didn't know the answer, or you're thinking, what sound do you make? Right?
Don't we though? What's the
You
difference between that one?
You're dialing into the Akashic records.
Where do you look?
You look up. So subconsciously,
you know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing subconsciously.
You're just programmed to not
recognize what you're doing.
Yes.
But it's coded within your ionic DNA straight away. That is the way to. It's the call to open the Akashic records. I'm thinking.
Should we get that one away?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can.
I think this is a big mystery. Language allowed us to find it out, and then deep thought. So, is everybody stuck on what a comet is? Like what a comet is? Yeah?
Explain it then. Explain it for us, please.
Okay. So we have Martin's realms here, yeah? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, sun, sun, sun for an example, okay? Moon, moon, moon. Comet is co-met, okay? Co is joining a corporation or a coexisting together side by side, yeah? Agree?
Together.
And met, okay? So, the BBC will label a comet as a frozen wanderer. That's what they label it as, a frozen wanderer. We know that planets are wandering stars in Greek. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wandering stars.
Yep.
So basically, a comet is when one of the moons from the other realm or other land is passing near our sun, or the sun and the moon vice versa on each side, are meeting. And if you've ever studied magnetism, and you can see the dielectric field through magnetism, what's actually happening, you see the trailing edge because of the magnetism is pulling the light towards us, and it's just the other sun or the other moon visible in our realm. Comet, frozen in the sky. It's stuck with the magnetism. Does everybody know how the sun and the moon work through magnetism?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that is basically what it is. It's when one of our suns has met the other sun, or the moon has met the other moon,
and it almost drags it across as they switch. Yeah, as they
switch
cross.
So all we're seeing is a visible sun or moon from the other realm, and it's that simple. And it only happens every cycle. Let's talk to Martin about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's exactly what's happening there with a comet. It's a comet, and language will allow you to see that once you can sort of tap into things and get it all together. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
Can I ask you something? As our language has changed, we had the oldie woldy language. What was all in that then? Because we don't talk like that anymore. A few hundred years ago, or so they say, we had all the different. It was different English, wasn't it?
It's always changed by the minds that succeed. Let's say they always leave their mark, and they'll always change something and adapt it because it's a part of the process, just like these people who are writing these films now, they're occultists who have mastered this, leaving their mark as people have left their mark through time. Da Vinci and all these people have changed language, written Bibles and that. It's a part of the soul. It's a growth of the soul. It's a stage that we haven't comprehended yet, and
also because we've been in the dark age, in the age of control, in the age of restriction, over the ages, during different periods of awakening. So like 2000 years ago, when we shifted maybe out of the age of Aries into the age of Pisces, the language, people had an awakening. There was an awakening of some sort, like we're having now. Maybe not as big, but similar. So people probably started deciphering the language of that time, right? And once they start deciphering the language of the time, they become subconscious, not conscious, subconscious. Once you're subconscious, you become a creator of this reality. You start writing the matrix. So the people that were in power then, obviously to stop that from happening, had to tweak the language once again, recode it. So they changed the English, they switched the English, and then people lose it once again. They lost again.
It's also another rabbit hole for us in our reality to get trapped in again in the old language, because there's so many traps to your freedom.
So a good example is right now we at the stage.
Is the language better today, or was it better before?
Same.
It's the same. It's just been twisted, but it's the same. It's the same. There's no better or different. For instance, now our English language is changing. There are now words like the word "bay." I think "bay" is in the dictionary now, isn't it? For
don't watch telly, sorry,
your partner, "bay." Is it "bay"? My "bay."
Like half babe, is it like?
Yeah, like babe, like half babe. Yeah.
Slang babe.
So a lot of slang words are becoming mainstream English words.
And slang is literally the S in front of the language.
Right? So they're using slang to start changing the code of English. So if you came back to this realm 2,000 years from now, English will sound completely different. I guarantee you. It will sound like some of the slang we use today. We'll be like, is that like an official word? People are like, yeah, everyone uses it. That's what we teach people, everyone. And you'll say, no, in my day, that was a slang word. You didn't use that word.
Yeah. As the Fibonacci spiral grows, so does language. It's all the same. Everything grows
Evolve.
at the same rate.
But it goes full circle. So again, going back to that wheel, the cosmic wheel, as we ascend and we get back to the golden age, language will also go full circle back to its original form of sound and resonance and frequency. And then the cycle begins again when we begin a new epoch. So everything always goes full circle.
Thanks for answering that bit about slang, because there was a couple of questions in the chat room about that. What about slang?
So slang is lang, obviously language. They're not got the gauge on the end because it's slang, but the S will represent three things. Okay, one of an incomplete sine wave. Yeah, which is basically representing your right brain not connected. Okay, so the S will represent your kind of like worldly body here, matrix man. So S is also, right, if this is a brain up here, this is trailing to the left side, the kundalini, yeah? And really, we know what the right is right, so it should always go to the right. So this is representing a left brain being here. This is a sine wave. The S also represents, sorry, I drift ahead too fast in my own thoughts. We'll just leave
energy, shifting energy, the snake.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. So when you see an ambulance, you'll see that the snake is only going to the left side because it's a left brain treatment. So when you see symbols and signs, you kind of get the awareness of what you need, what's good and what's bad for you, you know? So that's always going to the left. So it is a left brain service. A service is a vice for the sirs. To add vice is to add vice. I know what vice is. It's helping someone out. So language would literally mean, slang is the left brain language.
Adjusting.
And you know.
And this is why, English is called English. English is Engle-ish.
Ingy-ish.
Ish. It's not a pure language. It's an ish language. It can be changed. It can be manipulated. It's Engle-ish.
Don't mistake ish as in
it's Spanish. It's not real.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Right? It's been manipulated.
There is a question again from Barris. He wants to know, big question, is evolution a real thing or just part of the matrix?
Oh, you can go full circle and back on yourself and realize a lot of things on this one. Let's go with the word revolution. Yeah, revolution backwards is know it, you love her. Yeah. Evolution itself
Hey, just while you're writing that, someone else has joined our hangout. It's Josh, Flat Earth Unity.
Hey, mate.
Hey, Josh.
How's it going, everybody? Peace, respect, and boundless love.
Nice one, mate.
Back at you, brother.
Have you been watching, or have you just joined? Like, have you just
a joiner?
Just joining in now. Cool.
He had a few problems on his microphone,
Yeah.
so. But Josh liked it as well, so carry on.
We know to revolve is just a full circle, yeah? A revolver goes full circle to revolve. So a revolution is basically a full circle. L is God, 12. The circ L, the 12th letter in the alphabet, by the way. When I say 12, it just represents what stage is that in the alphabet. Just as 20 is T. 20 is the 20th letter. It's all symbolic, and you'll find it. So I've never done this word simply before, so let's try it simple. So you got rightfully establishing, vol is volume, you are you, T is the straw man, you got the I on here. So it's the full circle of God in you. Wow. So you take away the R, which, do you know what? R has been bugging me for a long time. Because R is 18, you got the 1 and the 8. You have the 1 with the eternal cycle. If somebody can bring any light to the R, it's one of the things that I haven't been able to sort of
work out.
Get ahead with to the 3rd degree, you know. But to revolve is to move your ions, and to evolve. Wow, you have evil ions, mate. And love is backwards there, so literally that's trying to tell you need to move. Subconsciously, this word is trying to tell you that you need to move ions shift, basically.
That 12 keeps staring at me. I don't know if you gentlemen knew, but the letter L is almost always the 12th letter in almost all languages.
Is
and
it?
If it's not the letter L, it makes that same sound. Lambda, L.
Beautiful.
It has to as well because of the full circle, you know.
So that is what you'd call a pure word. It's a pure sound because it sounds the way it looks as well. So that word is not interchangeable. The meaning of that sound is exactly as it sounds. It is what it is. You cannot change it. That spell cannot be changed. What's the word for it in English? You know, when a word is rightfully established, it's
What do you mean, as in
like it sticks,
like,
it's cemented.
Yeah. It's just that's what it is. For example, you got words the same forward as they are backwards, so the spell cannot be changed with these ones. So these ones are true words. You never really have to worry about these things.
That word level. Check this out. Level. Level has Eve in the middle, a V in the middle of E of the two E's. Those L's we know are God. L is the Eve is the female, the feminine, the divine feminine, you know.
The moon,
the
yeah.
V
The evening.
in the middle is a V. V is 5. 5 is the number of balance, and it's a balanced word.
Which is phi, yeah. Which is the phi cycle, yeah. Which is the feminine.
Well done. That was beautiful, by the way. That was beautiful.
Thanks for joining, mate. But yeah. That's awesome. So have you been doing this yourself naturally?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I broke words apart. I was that kid that pulled at the stop sign and was like, "Oh, it's pots. It's pots."
So this is going to grow on that one just quickly, yeah. So this was the first one I ever picked up when I was about 6. Was island is land, yeah. But you said stop, yeah. It's pots backwards, yeah, which potholes, etc., But I said that the S is the sine wave, yeah, or the left brain, or the sine wave, etc., So the sine wave has reached the top, so it must stop. It must stop. S has reached the top. It has to stop. The sine wave cannot move, so
because the sine wave represents movement. Like I've done in my presentations, all the ancient cultures, when you see a snake, the sine wave, the wiggling snake,
if it's an 8,
it's energy, it's movement, it's energy. So here in this context, S top, the movement is at its top. It cannot go forward. Do not go forward. So it's a subconscious command. Your movement has reached the top. Your sine wave has reached the top. Stop.
It's all about energy.
Energy. Comes back to energy.
Speak. Peak is the peak.
Are you saying energy or your inner G?
Inner God.
Your inner God or your or the movement of God within you. So energy is just the movement of God within you. It's the energy that is your energy.
Which is what you're doing, which is brilliant, mate, because it's your soul now. That's your soul bringing forth this. You're growing as a being, you know. Well done, mate. That's brilliant. It's brilliant stuff. Where we
get another one?
Has anybody got any questions you want answered while we're just, because they bring words to light, you know?
So bringing it back to the question about evolution, yes, evolution does exist. Of course it does.
Only conscious.
Of course it does. But we've been lied to about how it works and what it is. So there's physical evolution and there's spiritual evolution or conscious evolution. So consciously, as beings, all beings, they evolve consciously through cycles, right? Just like nature does. There's a winter of consciousness, there's an autumn of consciousness, there's a spring of consciousness, and there's a summer of consciousness, right? Iron Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Gold Age. So there is evolution. We evolve consciously. Right now, we all say there's an awakening. We're waking up. We are evolving, right? Some are evolving quicker than others, right? But there is an evolution happening right now, consciously. There is also a physical evolution, but the physical evolution is not a natural one. This is when man comes into play. When we start manipulating DNA, when we start mixing DNA, we evolve, right? And it's not a bad or good thing. It's just a part of reality. In fact, it's good. It should be celebrated. The meaning of life is learn, experience, grow, and move on. We must grow. You can't grow if you're not evolving. You've got to evolve to grow, right? So evolution is both a physical thing and it's a spiritual thing. The spiritual side of evolution is natural. That happens on its own, governed by the celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, the energy, or the inner G within you as well, connecting with the outer G. It's all subconscious. The physical evolution is what we can create, right? So when you and your partner create a human being, a baby, right? That child will not be the same as any child ever created. That being, that physical being, will look different, will look like itself. It's evolved to be what it is. But we've created that in the physical. I hope that answered the question.
And evolve backwards means love.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So subconsciously. Yeah. So like the word green was spoke of then, yeah, the green is representation, well, let's say the heart chakra, yeah? And the center of the earth, the aurora borealis. So the word green itself has been written forwards, backwards, intertwined, etc., etc. So it's the G reen, the god's reen. You got backwards, you got near G, you're near God, when you're close to the heart chakra. You'll always find the answers when you dig deep enough. I mean, you might be looking at words for months and then go back to it 6 months later and find it, and then you just have that most beautiful feeling. The amazing grace, I call it. So it's amazing.
In your words that you've used, you haven't used the word X very much.
Obviously. Oh. We don't like things that belong to things. X is just something that was. We used exclamation mark, didn't we? But if someone wants an example, amps is obviously electrical energy again, isn't it? So this word here, we have lamp, which is a light, which is from God's amperage. Amperage, we use amps. I know this has gone from X, by the way. Sorry, man. We've got amperage and what's the other one? Oh, is it ohms? Ohms. So then that's back to Martin's ohm again. And we're back to amperage, as in forms of energy.
Can I do the X marks the spot?
Please. Oh, well, cool.
Yeah. So the X, we know that X always marks the spot, right? Right? So you always want to be in the X, but you don't want to be out of the X, excluded. So when you hear someone saying for X ample, it means the ample that's away from the X. It's past. When you put the E, it's out of its context. So you want to be in the X. You don't want to be out of the X.
You want to be X'd. Hexed.
Right? So X is...
Well,
what's the number of X in the alphabet?
23, 24.
The reason I asked about the English languages, isn't the English language one of the languages to everyone else? Their language is the other way round to ours. Our language is back.
Hola is hello, isn't it? Like hello is hello and hola is hello backwards. Yeah, it's done for fun. You'll see this. Clever people are so clever that they like to leave marks for clever people. If it makes sense, like you know what I mean? Yeah, breadcrumbs, and it's fun, and it really becomes a journey when you start to understand this. And one day we're all going to be together, doing this together, and all of our minds will just expand to exponential rates. You know, this is a building of the subconscious family, the new subconscious family.
And it's true saying that, because now this doesn't upset us. We laugh now. It's funny. It's absolutely amusing. It's brilliant. It's genius what they've done with all the languages. And it's just one big game. And they're all just laughing and going, no one has a clue what is going on, but it's so simple.
Poo shit,
and it's right there.
Poo shit, cunt, all these things. Have a look into them. See what you can make of them, because they're beautiful. Beautiful. Ass, troll light, ass, poo, shit, S hit. The Pope has a staff. It says shit on it. It's got the 3 crosses. These things are cool. Have a look into them. Find your way, you know. Is there anything that we want to go into more, any other subjects, or is it language what many people want to see today? And
well, I just wondered if you would break down those 2 words, etymology and synchronicity.
We moved away from the so for example, the synchronicity, write it down here. The synchronicity, it's funny because Martin was saying the other day, we were saying, is it sinking in? And we say, is it sinking in, thinking is it sinking in, but it's actually sinking in as computer talk.
SYNC, it is sinking in.
Yes, it's sinking in, yeah? And that's exactly what it is. It's
a frequency.
It's amazing. So what was the word? Etymology?
Etymology.
We've got a dodgy pen. Etymology.
Just to say, guys, the chat room are loving this. Aren't you, chat room?
Brilliant. Something different.
It's double spot that. Cosmology. So it depends how you want to break this down. So logy is logos or a sign, for example. Log or logic is log. No matter how mad it sounds, a log is a tree and everything comes from the tree. So it's logic. Everything comes from the tree. It's logical. Okay, it's only from the tree.
We live on a tree.
It is just a tree. We live on one big tree. And if anybody doesn't understand that, you know, mountains grow from trees. Trees fall down. They create earth. If they're petrified, they turn to stone. If they're wet and moist, they turn to earth. It was just trees.
We are the ants on the tree.
We are the, what's the nice word that traps people in? What do they say? Not inhabitants. Countries. You know what I say now? Continents. Continents is continents. You're continents. And what's a tenant? You're conned where you live, mate. You live on business land. Time to grow out. Time to get out. So cosmology. Okay, cos and sin are sine waves, yeah? Mathematics and trigonometry. Trigonometry will play a massive role in your awakening as well. Please try and understand it. The mother's whole. So if you just allow me to just talk this one, because these words are kind of deep for the basic teaching, you know. These are the words I didn't really want to get into because I didn't want to have to confuse the initial training of the mind. But M is mother. It's all right. M is mother and middle, yeah. So you get a choice either side. Golden arches, okay. This is the representation of this symbol here. This word needs to be broken down into necessarily like hieroglyphs in the English language, because the English language is also hieroglyphic. It's just symbols at the end of the day. Then it goes down to numbers, and that's when you know all is number. Pythagoras.
And the numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. You break this down into language, then your numbers, and then numbers is matrix.
Because it starts off as words. Words is the most hidden spell, or sentences rather. You're sentenced to a sentence. I mean, once you're using sentences, that's it. You're out. And then you break down the sentences into their words, right? And you've got to break down the code. The code behind the words is numbers. Numbers don't lie. So numbers, you cannot cast a bad spell with numbers. 1 + 1 is 2. There's no way of masking that or trying to change it. It is what it is. And then beyond numbers, it's sounds. It's frequency. And even frequency, even worse. Frequency, yeah.
And beyond that, it's non-language. It's just
energy.
Subconscious energy, yeah. So right, etymology. So we'll go back to this. Show this if you can, Mark. So E represents A, B, C, D, E. Fifth element, ether. As in E done is the ether den. Okay? E = 5 ether. Etymology. Ether tie. You got a tie. You're tied to the ether through the mother's void. Signs, logos. Okay, this is almost like a matrix. The word itself, it's like a language matrix. That's what it means to the subconscious. Ether tie. Okay, M is the middle, the mother. The O represents the void or the hole. The
crater at the center.
The black hole. The creator.
The creator.
The creator of Tauruses. Crater. The void. The dielectricity. It's just magnetism. But yeah, so the ether is tied to the mother's void signs. So the signs of the mother's void are tied in the ether. So basically, this is telling you the Akashic records, mate. Etymology is the place. Akashic records is the place for etymology. I've never done that word before, but I've just seen it then. So that's what it's saying.
Well, G's for God.
If you're breaking that down, but I'm just breaking this down easier for people. So logos is signs. Logos, astrology is the signs. You know, so you're basically
L,
God,
mother, God,
whole, got a sine wave. You just get too deep into this for teaching right now. But yeah, I think leaving this will allow people to work this out. But this is a nice start. So literally, yeah, the signs of the mother's void, which is the whole or creator or our goal, are tied in the ether. The ether is where the Akashic records are kept. And the only way to reach the ether is through spirit, thought, meditation, leaving matter behind, conscious evolution, or is it conscious? Or...
And this is why they don't want people thinking.
Matter is mother as well. Matter.
Yes, mother.
It's the mother's Taurus.
Ma'at.
It's matter. It's the mother's Taurus, as water is too. It's interchangeable. The W and the M are exactly the same.
Yes, sir.
Matter.
Your mother is earth as well as water. Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, mate. My Taurus, the mother's Tauruses. That's all it is. It's Tauruses. Everything's Taurus. Atoms. Atom is mother backwards in Sanskrit. Mata. Atoms are Tauruses, really. If everybody's aware of
Back to energy.
Back to energy again. Good stuff, mate. Any other words? It was cosmology, yeah? Do we still want that one then?
Go on, please, if you don't mind.
Cosmology, is joining, yeah? The S represents a sine wave. So it'll be joining the sine wave with the mother's void signs. The signs of the mother's void, you have to join the sine wave. The cosmology. Wow. So the mother's sine wave is totally separate to the illusory sine wave. The sine wave that we have with the mother is subconscious, okay? So this is deep word again. So this is like the mother's void logos are found joining with the subconscious. The sine waves, the mother's sine wave though. You have the mother's sine wave signs are co. So you're joining with the sine wave of the mother.
And going back to what he's just saying now, something I've learned recently through doing this. Well, we've both learned this in the last few days, haven't we? Is that we're all saying we're in the conscious community. We all should be conscious. Like I said earlier on, no. That's an illusion. The conscious is an illusion. You don't want to be conscious. You want to be subconscious.
The word is not conscious, it's chess. It's chess.
Conning the chess.
Con is a separate word. It's conscious. Conscious. Con we know is against us. Do we actually want to be conscious? This is all we're going to.
If you look the definition for conscious, CONSCIENCE, conscious, it just means to know.
Yeah. But conscious is also a thought. So a thought is a left brain action. And we know all knowing, there is all knowing, and that's below the conscious line, yeah, the subconscious. So all I'm saying is the word chess itself is a single word. And the word con is a single word. The chessboard in Freemasonry has been left with light and dark, sun and moon.
Yeah. And going back to what you're saying about the dictionary definition of conscious is what?
To know.
To know, right? So what do you know? Do you know what you know, or do you know what you've been told?
But what's know mean? Is it good or bad?
Well, is it good?
Most
right? You
of us only know what
we've
we've been told, yes, sir. But those
Right.
of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, we know what we know.
Exactly.
Brilliant. So that's subconscious. So now you're in the subconscious realms.
That term kills me because we call it the subconscious, but we know it as our higher self. Isn't that
Right.
funny?
Yes.
There you go. Brilliant.
But almost you're told to rise above. You kind of rising below, you know? So it is the reverse.
Yep.
Everything is flipped. Everything.
And also, you could also say it as when you're subconscious, you're now in the shadows. You're now part of the shadows.
The darkness, and the darkness is where creation is made.
And the
Everything comes from
darkness
the
is where
darkness.
creation, and this is why secret societies are in the dark. They're in the subconscious.
Because
They
they create.
know they're creating this reality.
While you're trapped
Yes.
playing chess.
While we're all being conscious, right?
I don't know
We're
if
being
anyone's
made
ever
conscious
seen,
by the subconscious.
I don't know if any of you gentlemen have ever seen the oldest conception of Kali Ma, but Kali Ma is dark as blackest black. And the reason being is because everything comes from the darkness. All creation, all destruction, everything come from the darkness. They got us running from the darkness when we should be learning more of the darkness.
Brilliant.
Yes, mate.
And you know, a
Brilliant.
baby, look inside of a womb where a baby come. Once the baby come out, it's a cavernous hole. What's
a
inside of this
placenta?
cavernous hole? Ah,
The
there
place
you go.
enter, the placenta.
Yeah.
Placenta. You enter the placenta. The placenta.
So I'm just going to leave a little nugget. We really didn't want to talk about this today.
No.
No? But I'm just going to leave it as a small nugget. The deception goes so far, guys. Everything is literally the reverse of the truth. Literally. So based on what you've just said, that beautiful example of everything being in the dark, nighttime and daytime have been reversed. Nighttime is
'cause
actually daytime.
We go to sleep.
Nighttime is actually daytime. We should be sleeping when the sun is out.
If
We
I-
should be awake
Victor, let's give him that.
and working under moonlight. That's why the sun makes you, honestly,
Martin, as
That-
a flat earther, we're the night people because we're up all night anyway.
absolutely. And this is why all the best things are discovered at night,
Conscious.
nighttime.
Victor,
You need to be a knight in shining armor,
Woo!
not someone who lives in a daze during the day. During the day, you're in a daze. The moon is the real sun. We should
That's
all be
why they call
moon
it-
gazing, not sun gazing.
That's why they call it daydreaming.
Daydreaming, you're in a daze. We should all be sleeping during the day and doing stuff during the night.
Does anybody know what the moon releases? And there's a highest point each evening that the moon releases melatonin. Loads of it.
So when there's a full moon at 3 a.m., this is scientific. This is mainstream science. They say,
Wiki, mate.
if you go on Wikipedia even, and you say the witching hour, and just read about the witching hour, which is 3 a.m. in the morning, when there's a full moon. And we said, what is a witch? Someone who creates what? Choice.
Positive.
Which one? Which one? A choice gives you choice. A witch gives you which one? Which? I'm a witcher. I give you choice. So they say the witching hour, the best hour to create choice is 3 a.m. during a full moon. And they say the moon, a full moon, raises your, what is it?
I'm writing it down
Your
now.
melatonin. Your what?
Melatonin, yeah.
Melatonin. Right? 3 a.m. on a full moon, if you go outside and you moon bathe during a full moon, your melatonin rises in your body. Your DNA upgrades. And this is why they've switched it. They want you sleeping during that time. They want you to be afraid of the witching hour. Be afraid of 3 a.m. Be afraid of the full moon.
They also have our time altered by about 7 or 8 days on the solstices and the equinoxes as well, because I've watched the moon and sun too close over the past 18 months now. I'm telling you, the days of 12 and 12 are not on the days that they tell you is the equinox.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And the monks in monasteries in Greece start their service at 3 o'clock.
In the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
Brilliant. There you go. There you go. There you go. So our reality has literally been switched the other way around.
If you went out at night, right, if you do not like busyness, yeah? If you went out at night, would you see it?
Business.
Would you see busyness world? Would you see 9 till 5? Would you
No.
see
No.
a pulse matrix?
No. Freedom.
There we go. That's all we're
Well,
going
if you think about, also, sorry for interrupting, but if you think about our Islamic brothers and sisters, they wake up in the middle of the night to pray. They
There
have
you
set
go.
times that they,
Yeah.
you know, they
Yep.
have their set times that they pray.
Yes.
And what's 13 times a day or some mess like that? I don't know. I wouldn't claim to know. I'm not. I try to stay away from those worldly things, religion in general.
Brilliant. 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 And you
I'll just say something in the chat room, right? So Richard Burke says, so when we die, we walk into the light or not?
You'll find that out if you keep doing this, mate. You'll find it out, you know. I don't want to make any decisions for your afterlife. But yeah, you will find it out. If you're getting the Easter eggs now, you're asking this question, it's never going to leave you. Just find it honest.
the answer is you will go where your soul tells you to go.
What's ready at your
What's
time.
ready at your time. But what I would say, I would put an asterisk on that and say, personally, I wouldn't go into the light. I would go into the void. Because the void is where creation is, where the placenta is. The place you enter is always in the dark. Once you're in the light, you don't want the light. Because the light is a false
Conscious.
it's a consciousness.
It brings you back again.
It's a construct.
Yeah. It's a false manifestation.
And you see it in the movies, the Twilight Saga, the Twilight Zone, the vampires, right? Are you a vampire or are you a monster? Are you a werewolf? The monsters and the zombies are during the day. The vampires are during the night. The vampires have superpowers. The vampires are super strong, super fast, right? And then they put the blood in there to scare people. Oh, but they will suck your blood. But they're telling you a truth. You want to be a vampire, not a wolf or a monster or a zombie, because zombies come out during the day. They're in the days.
Islam. So basically,
I have a question for you. I have a question from the chat room. Brian asked what gravity has in it.
What gravity?
I think he means what does it actually? What does the word actually mean?
So G is God, Ra is the sun, V itself represents phi or feminine. We'll find out the word as we go because I've never done this.
Feminine.
So gravity.
Yeah, it's not usually the word that you pick, is it, nowadays? But yeah, carry on.
So literally, it is a subconscious tie. Yeah. We're all aware of I now because we've had it quite a few times. It's a subconscious tie for the God, the sun, and the feminine. Wow.
Wow. So it means something different now.
This is the masculine, Ra the sun, yeah, Egyptian. V is the feminine, the moon. G is the center hole, God's program, God G, yeah? The Trinity, subconsciously tied, you believe, in gravity.
So basically, they've tried to put as much of God coding in the word gravity. So when you see it subconsciously, what you're seeing is God.
Wrong. Type.
You're seeing God. That's the spell you're seeing. So you've got the masculine God, you've got the feminine God, you've got the masculine whole God, the G God, tied together. They put all the gods in that word gravity. That's why it's such a strong word. When people hear it, they go, but gravity. They might as well be saying, but God. It's God. How can you say God doesn't exist? That is the programming, subconscious.
So if we took off that, that's
It's also gravity, gentlemen. It's also gravity. And they have us, it's also gravity. It's gravity. And they have us living in a system where we have to die. We are subconsciously, we kill ourselves from the moment we're born, not even knowing it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's because we live in a gravity-driven society.
a grave.
A grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say what I said. It's gravity.
Do they know what they're saying then? You know, like NASA. Do they know what words they're really saying then?
No, I don't think so. I think
this you better know they do. That's why they put things like a lot of some large rocks just hit Uranus not too long ago. Like they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing.
I think the average man at NASA probably doesn't know, but the guy who's putting out these bulletins and telling the people working at NASA what to say, they know. The master occultists, the occult. That's a good word. Occult.
So the O cult, and we're gonna go with the hidden as well. Okay. This is the word.
A long time ago, the word occultist got misconfused with a word called oculist, and oculist is another little. That's a big group as well. It's a big thing as well.
Oculist is eye, right?
Yes, sir. It got to do with oculist, just like a cult do.
Yeah. It's almost having that vision, you know. So the word occult is a culture as a group of beings as such. And the O represents the womb, the hole, the mother's void. Yeah.
Occult means truth, right?
It's hidden. It's a hidden. So it's hidden. So a hidden is the hidden. Yeah. Which is the ether den. And the O is the ether as such. It's the hole, it's the void. Yeah. And the cult is the culture. So it's literally the people that live there are hidden in the den, like the culture of the void, the people of the void.
So going back to what we're saying about this cosmic wheel, about beings that visit from time to time, right? What we call occult religion or knowledge or whatever you want to call it, that is gnosis or knowledge from the Garden of Eden. It's the occult or the e-cult, if you like.
The
hidden culture. It's the true culture, the original culture. O can be original as well. It's the original culture. It's the real truth. That's why it's occult. It's hidden.
Oh, yes, of course.
What? So we should all be occultists. We should all try and find out what the hell is this occult stuff about. What are they hiding from us? Because occult is the original culture that we all come from. So we need to find out what is this hidden culture.
It really helped you guys as well. I wrote on the board so I didn't forget with the red blue shift thing. It's day, night, cold, hot. If you study or look into Victor Schauberger with water, one of Victor Schauberger's fastest, biggest findings with water was the fact that in the daytime, water was slow, sluggish and lethargic, not free-flowing. And at nighttime, water is purified, fast-flowing, and charged. If we are made of water, there we go.
So cold is the moon, hot is the sun. So when the sun is out, water slows down. The tides are slow, everything's slow. When the moon is out, water speeds up. The tides are quick, the water rushes quicker when the moon's out. The water is active.
The purification is the key here, guys.
So when we're out in the moonlight, the moon is purifying the water within you. During the day, the sun makes the water within you still. Tired.
Hungry.
In a daze. Right? In the morning, you have something called what? Breaking your fast. Because during the night, you are cold, you are fast. Your soul, your energy is fast. Right? You're not slow, you're fast during the night. Consciously. When you wake up, you're breaking your fast so you can be slow. Breakfast.
S.
Break your fast so you can be slow. Or eat your slow. You might as well say eat your slow.
The low sine wave.
S slow. Low sine wave. Slow. So this we didn't really want to talk about the night and day thing, but I suppose it's come up now, and but it's really important. You know, I sun gazed a lot, and I've advocated for sun gazing, and we've just come across this recently that it's all twisted, it's all wrong. We should be moon bathing, not sun gazing, not sun gazing. And this is why a lot of the most intelligent people are nighttime people. I do all my best work at night. All my research, I do it at night. I can't do it during the day. During the day, I'm in a daze. I'm doing weekday stuff. At night, the portal's open. I'm thinking, I'm researching ideas, right? People come from work, they they talk with their partners, they bring up ideas. Everything happens at night. Everything, all the best things happen at night because the moon is the real sun.
Moon star.
Moon star. Not a monster, but a moon star. They've taken the eye out of the moon to make it a monster.
Any questions?
Wow.
Wow.
Well, people in the chat room are saying, I'm going to have to watch this again. Make sure they've understood it and watch it all again. So there you go. They're going to be watching.
That's cool. Does anybody want to know anything else, like the broad spectrum of like?
Yeah.
Like, is there anything else?
We can do another one on healing another time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just keep it to this.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap up now. Another 10 minutes.
Yeah. Cool. Any questions then? Anybody want to guess?
Yeah, there's one. Hang on, I can't find the one. Someone just said something just a minute ago. Please, more on night and day. Maybe a special program just on this topic. There you go. You've got to come back now and do the night and the day.
Yeah, that's a really big one, and that's something that we've sort of started finding out in the last week or so. But it's beautiful, and in fact, I think we've decoded what the moon might be.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put it out there to let it simmer, and hopefully other people will add to it. But going back to fast, slow, hot, cold, blue shift, red shift. The moon is blue. The sun is hot. You don't want red shift. You want blue shift.
We know blue is 2, yeah? 2 luminous, bioluminescent. Bioluminescent, okay?
Yep. But anyway, the moon that we see up in the sky is a projection. It's a hologram. It's a holographic projection of the black sun, Mercury, in Eden at the center.
Home.
So what we say is the moon, that is the underneath side of the central sun in Eden right now, projecting itself onto our dome. And that's what we see as the moon. So the moon and Mercury are one. That's why the Mercury and the moon has Mercury.
2 sexes, Baphomet.
2 sexes, Baphomet. That's what Baphomet is. That's what they're telling you. And that symbolism of Baphomet. You know, the goat, one hand up, one hand down. I'm projecting. As above, so below. So when you're moon bathing, when you're speaking to the moon, you're actually speaking to the black sun, the sun of the realm at the center. That's what you're doing. That's where you're projecting your energy. So the moon is a projection of the black sun or Mercury or Thoth or Hermes. Subconscious that is right at the center of the earth. That is what the moon is. And when we see the phases of the moon, it's because the sun at the center is revolving around the pole. And as it's revolving around the pole, this is what you're seeing as the covering of the hologram in the sky. It's a hologram.
nodes.
So a moon doesn't exist. The only celestial body in our torus field that is a electrical thing or physical or even half etherical thing is the sun. The moon is a projection. The same goes with Venus. Venus is a projection of our sun. Our sun that goes around our torus field projects its other side to the dome on the outside, and that's why it looks like it's in water, because you see it as it's a reflection.
But it's electromagnetism.
And this is why you always see Venus next to the sun. Wherever the sun is, Venus is close by, because it's the shadow of our sun.
But Venus, isn't Venus the one that goes in phases? It actually has phases.
Just like our moon. Just like our moon, because it's a hologram, just like our moon.
Well, there is another question. Barris wants to know, please ask about dreams, reality, and the reversal of it, subconscious, conscious.
What was the first bit?
Sorry, again?
Sorry, did I say it a bit fast? Barris asked, please ask about dreams, reality, and the reverse conscious.
Dreams.
Wonder who Dr. Dre was. Or R.E. Rightfully establish
A.M.
or
What do we say when we say A.M.? A.M. is morning.
Morning, yeah. Form to rightfully establish your
A.M. Your mind. Your alpha mind.
Wow. Alpha A represents alpha, the beginning. A longitudinal, latitudinal wave is A and Z. The alphabet is between everything. It's just the energy waves. So anyway, dream. Was it just the word dream? Yeah.
Like what are dreams, basically?
What a dream. What a dream. Dreams are subconscious. Subconscious thought processes you can't figure out. So they're almost prompting you. They're allowing you, depending on how well connected you are to the subconscious dream world, be how you decipher your dreams. Your dreams are the higher realm. A sleep is astral leap. You're having an astral leap into the realms of the higher thought. But most people forget their dreams. Most people don't know how to lucid dream, sleep, meditate. Sleep is just meditation. If you can go into a rightful form of sleep, then you'll never forget your dreams, and you can just learn all night.
And remember what we said about nighttime being the time we should be awake. We should be awake during the night. The reason being because when you're at night, this is when the dielectricity or the dimagnetism from the moon, right, the holographic projection coming from the back sun, the blue shift, this activates your subconscious. The moon is the dark, it's the subconscious, it's the hidden in the night, right? So this is why during the day, they fill you with programs. They fill you with programs. And in the night, when you're sleeping, when you're astral leaping, you are manifesting the programs they put in you during the day.
Can I ask you something then? I thought that sunlight was good for you.
So did we.
So did we. No. No, I'm not going to say it's not good for you. Okay.
It's a split duality
It's a split duality. I'll put it this way.
Choice.
For those who've seen my videos where I've said there are 3 types of souls: positives, neutrals, and negatives, right? There are positive souls, there are neutral souls, there are negative souls. The negative souls are the bad souls being drawn outwards. They want to go out, away from the center, right? The neutral souls are up for the taking. They're in between. They're neither hot nor cold. They're neither sun nor moon. They're in between. The negatives are sun. They are the sun worshippers. They want to go outwards. This is why a lot of the religions are based on the sun. Right? It's always the sun. Christianity, Buddhism, all of the religions are based on the sun. Even this modern religion of consciousness, we're all saying we're in the conscious community. We're all telling everyone to go sun gaze. We're still worshiping the sun. It's still sun worship. So if you're a negative, and even if you're a neutral and you're staying in this realm, the sun is good. Sun gaze. Do that, because that is the reality at the moment in this realm. If you're a positive and you want to move on to the next realm, right? You need to be moon bathing. The moon is where you should be. You should be drawn to the blue, to the moon, to the blue moon, not to the red sun. Because the blue moon, like we said, is a holographic projection of the black sun or Mercury at the center. So you need to be speaking to the moon, Mother Moon, and saying to her, I want to return home. Show me the way. Open my subconscious. Guide me.
And be virtuous.
And be virtuous as you're doing it. Because if you're not virtuous, it's pointless. You're wasting your time.
Nothing. Nothing. You have to be nice to everybody in every action. Change those thought processes. You'll create havoc if you don't. It's all about deprogramming, reprogramming, twin pillars, destruction, rebuild, rebuild, rebuild.
I've got another question. Peter wanted to know, who is they?
They? Manifestation.
All of us.
All of us.
We are they. We are they. So
subconscious
those of us
is they.
Those of us figuring out this, and you know, the occultists talk about, we're reading Aleister Crowley today, and he says in his book, what book was it? Well, one of his books anyway. The Moonchild? Moonchild. Yeah. Moonchild. But in one of his books, he was saying the Illuminati, or the illuminated, or the initiated into the subconscious, the ones that become the elite, are not always the people in secret societies or the people in high positions of power. They are more initiated people who are in ordinary lives like you and me. We are now initiated. We are now the illuminated. Now we, on the chessboard, going back to the checkerboard, we could choose the light path or the dark path with this knowledge. With this knowledge, I guarantee you, me and Josh could become billionaires tomorrow. I guarantee it. We could become ministers. We could get into the matrix and control it. We've become business people with this knowledge. We've taken the dark path, the dark square on the chessboard.
That's going down in consciousness.
We become they.
Eventually.
We might not even be working directly with some of the other theys, but we are now part of the they. And the they is we. So the they does not have a face or a name. It is anyone who's become initiated, who's figured out these spells and how to work them. And once you get to a stage where you can now manifest, you know, the right time, the right place, 3 a.m., full moon, lots of melatonin, you're casting spells, you're witching during the witching hour, you're creating your own choice, your own reality, you're doing your own white or black magic, right? You now become a they. We want to be white magicians, which is why we're sharing this, which is why we're open. We're not hiding it. We're not the black square, we're the white square. So we'll share it. We've got nothing to hide. We want to create magic, white magic, good magic. Right? So to create good magic, we need good energy. We need light energy. We need the right virtues, not the left virtues, the right ones. And then we'll start manifesting good magic, literally.
You won't be trusted with anything if you aren't good, you know. It's the most important thing in the world, is to be absolutely kind to everything and everyone, and you will see your world change. And if you're not, do it and watch it change, and then you'll understand how your world works. Because your world works through virtues. It's a virtuous reality, not virtual. Study the word vert. Divert, advert, virtual.
Vert green.
You'll see what it's saying to you. Okay? Yeah, it's a virtuous reality, guys. So let's be good and start spreading this love, and then.
And going back full circle, it starts with you. Your virtues start with what you put in your mouth and what comes out of your mouth.
Is this good?
If you're putting poison in your mouth, nothing pure is going to come out subconsciously. If you're eating dead flesh, don't expect light energy to come out of your spells. It doesn't work because you've got negative energy within you. Everything is energy.
Your thoughts are not your thoughts until this, ready? Is this food good for me? Is it going to serve me any purpose? Do I know what's in this food? Did I make it myself? Is it grown from the ground?
Is it natural?
Is it safe? Is it going to give me progression or regression? If these questions aren't being asked, then these are the first steps. First steps to upgrade. First steps.
And until you do that, I promise you, you will not get any. Yeah, forget about trying to manifest anything.
I've got another question for you because I know that you want to finish soon. But Barris again says, can you ask about the Quran? Says on the day of judgment, sun and moon will be eclipsed. Please ask Martin. Does that information resonate with him?
It means they come together.
They come together.
Which is what Baphomet is. Which is what the goal is, to become masculine, feminine perfection. There's this twilight, it's entwined light.
Yeah, so we've got to make that clear because it gets confusing. So going back to the rounds that we have, that's a really good question. And again, I really didn't want to answer that because it's really advanced and most people, it will just go with it. But anyway, I'll attempt. In the center, in Eden, where the Aryans are, where the Ariana are, they are in a fifth dimension. They're in a higher dimension than we are. They're in the ether den. Okay? So everything there is etheric. The beings there are not completely physical like us. They don't see physicality in the same way that we do in this reality.
Spirals.
Yeah, they're spirals. They're half spirit, half flesh. The beings there.
Choice.
So, having said that, sex does not exist in Eden. There is no male or female in Eden.
The X again.
There is only positive or negative polarity. There's only polarity. Everything is seen as energy, not as a sex. A sex is a very dense form of understanding. For instance, the beings in Eden, just like the sun, are androgynous. In Eden, that is the code for that realm. They are androgynous. The beings in Eden do not create the energy of love through love making the way that we do. Over here, you have to have sex to create that energy of love. We must have sex. The two physical bodies of a male and female must come together, right? That's the natural order in this realm for creation to happen. In Eden, it is not, sex does not happen that way. Sex happens as a transference of energy. If you're dancing with someone in Eden and you're creating torus fields, which is where dancing comes in, waltzes, torus fields dancing, you're creating a vortex energy. You're creating energy.
There's your orgasm.
There's your orgasm.
So what it is, when you become so enlightened that the physical has no bearing, then this is when your consciousness will you'll want this, growth. Before, when you were younger, you thought you couldn't live without a PlayStation, and now you don't want one. Before, you thought you couldn't live with a body, and now you don't want one. No different.
So going back to that code, that's a good point. That code only works in Eden, because that is the code for that dimension at that time, at this time. So a lot of these occultists, what they've done, some of these beings are negative Polarians who understand these truths we're talking about. So when they do bad things, to them, when they're doing pedophilia, they're not hurting a child. It's a transference of energy. It's just energy. It's just business. Do you understand that? They're using the wrong code. In Eden, right, because there is no sex, you can have an orgasm with any being because it's not a sexual thing. It's a transference of love energy. But you cannot do that here because the physical code of this reality is not coded to that. The laws of nature in this reality are not coded to that. So these beings doing this, they're using the wrong code. They're using it in the right context, no, in the wrong context, but they have the right idea. that it's all energy. So they've inverted and manipulated natural laws, the virtues. I hope that makes sense. I'm not advocating for please don't go away and say Martin said pedophilia is all right. I did not say that. I know there'll be some idiots out there who'll be going around saying that. I did not say that. What I said was everything is energy in the universe. When you bring it down, it's all ions. It all breaks down to energy. In Eden, in the etheric den, at the center, right? Because everything is etheric, everything is governed by energy in its purest form. So things like sex, as we know it, do not exist in Eden. You do not need to have sexual intercourse to have an orgasm. You can do that by creating energy torus fields, dancing, laughing, right?
I've got a couple. Ninja Man wants to know, how do you know all this?
By giving you the examples of what we did to get there as such, you know, like
virtues.
Virtues is the most important thing you can ever leave. And then the rest of it is the language, subconscious, etc., etc. And it will just unfold for yourself.
Like I've said before, right? If you're out looking to expose lies, you are going to find lies.
Create more lies.
You're going to create more lies. You're going to find lies because that's what you're looking for. Energy goes where attention flows. When I began this journey, I was not interested in exposing the lies. I don't care about the lies. I want the truth. I'm here to find truth, not expose lies. Right? So I went out looking for the truth. Ourselves, right? Without fear. So a lot of people say, oh yeah, well, I'm looking for the truth. Then you say, well, have you read Aleister Crowley? Oh, that's satanic stuff. I don't read Satanism. Fear. It's been put there to block you from looking at it. It's another 9/11.
Are you controlled?
They put evil things behind occult knowledge, original knowledge, to scare people away from it. They put the Baphomet and tell you it's Satanism to scare you away from it. It's not satanic. It's a beautiful thing once you understand what it represents.
And even the lower chakra beings, they wouldn't even know what a Baphomet was, so they wouldn't even have
It's not evil. It's not the devil.
They wouldn't even get into their conscious thought processes. It's not. The game is just perfect.
It's there to scare people, the uninitiated. And the occultists tell you. Aleister Crowley in his book, he wrote it. We put these things, we hide them in plain sight, but we put fear in people to scare them so they don't look. And by that, they are ignorant and they are blissful. Ignorant is bliss. They go around saying, oh, it's Satanism, that occult stuff. You've missed out on original culture because you've been driven away. You've not gone past the first firewall, the first buffer. So myself, I'm not afraid to read the Satanic Bible. I read the Satanic Bible the same way I read the Christian Bible, the same way I read the Quran, the same way I read the Avestas, because I'm looking for the truth in what those books are saying, not the lies. The lies reveal themselves, and I say, I'm not going to go with that. They're telling us to sacrifice babies. That is obviously a lie. But what is the truth behind that? What are they saying? What is the underlying truth? What is the hidden message? What is the spelling? What are they trying to spell out for us? And masking it with fear.
Thank you. Barris in the chat room said, thank you very much. You've answered the questions. Really great for him. So just to let you, Martin and Josh, know that's what he said. Can I just put this? There's just one more question that I saw in the chat room. Asked, can you guys touch on ejaculation?
Child sacrifice. We just spoke about it. Child sacrifice. That's what it is.
So, so ejaculation itself is not a bad thing, right? So there's a lot of people in the conscious community saying, oh, if you masturbate, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're killing yourself. So yes, there is truth in it. But remember, we're all here to experience, learn, and grow. That's what we're here to do. There is no right or wrong. Follow your heart. Know thyself.
Trouble is, if you're stuck doing it, then you're stuck in the material realm.
But if you want to ascend yourself, If you want to become subconscious, if you want to become a magician, if you want to become a witch, right? If you want to become someone in control of your reality, if you want to leave the matrix, you must protect your energy life force. Your orgasm is the highest form of energy that exists.
Creation.
It's creation, right? So when we ejaculate, when we have an orgasm and it's wasted on pornography or on meaningless sex, you are literally getting rid of your magic. That magic could be used to make literal magic. Like, I want an apple in my hand. If you have enough energy within you, you can manifest that.
The gnosis.
But if your life force is out of you, you cannot do that. That orgasmic energy is life force. It's your ions in your body. You must learn to harness it, build it up in your body. And as the astral light comes from the north, 2020, as we raise in consciousness, as Mother Earth begins to wake us up, those who have that life force within them, I promise you, you'll begin to unlock real superhuman powers. We will. We will. And I mean like Marvel type of real superhuman powers. But you can't do that if your energy life force is being wasted on ejaculation. It must be, or you're unvirtuous.
And see, this comes into play with the virtues, because there's thought processes have gone today. Temperance, humility. So abstinence is one of them. If you're not abstaining and you're not aware and you're gluttonous within anything you're doing, then your left brain's taken over and you're no longer with the right. So as long as you have full awareness of what you're doing, there's no gluttony, there's no greed. You're not, what's the word? You're not attached to that repetition of masturbation. You're being drawn to the left brain if you are. You kind of see what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to not get too difficult here. But yeah, it's a left brain action, and you wouldn't want to be doing it if you were etherical and searching for like the truth and magic, etc., etc., etc. So just be careful that it doesn't pull you back into the other world. If that is your journey. If you want to try to be the other side, you must try to resist temptation.
And the flip side of that is there is no right or wrong. So if you want to do that, you do that, but you need to know the consequences of what you're doing. You're wasting your energy life force. But there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's your experience. If you want to experience that, do it and enjoy it. Do as thy will. Know thyself. We're all here to experience, learn, grow, move on. Those of us moving on, if you want to move on, we need to start. I'm not saying it's easy. We need to start harnessing and protecting our energy. Physically, mentally, emotionally, protect your energy. Learn to build it up within you. Learn to channel it into the right things, and good things are going to come. Positivity
creates possibility. There's a nice word here, guys, for everybody. I just wanted to show everybody the imagination, or imagine. It's actually telling you that you're a genie, mate. I'm a genie. I'm a genie, and the imagination will create. But unfortunately, the imagination has reached its limits for most beings on this earth, and it's created a spill paradigm. Yeah, boxes.
They don't even have that, though, do they?
No.
They don't realise it.
Yeah, you're told to be educated, right? So you need to educate yourself. Don't have an imagination. Don't imagine, because imagining is bad. Don't have your head in the clouds.
Children
have your head in a book.
Children do that.
Because book is programming. But children naturally do that. You know, I've got 2 young kids. You see them daydreaming. You see them imagining things. They are being creative. They're using their creative force mentally. And then we as parents, we beat it out of our children.
Make them sleep.
Read a book. Get your head out of the clouds. Programming.
That's Lamborghini, yeah. Lamborghini is spelled lamb or genie.
Lamb or genie.
Lamb or genie. Awesome. I reckon we should end it here, though.
I think so.
Is there any roundup questions anybody would like to ask before we go?
Kosta, do you have any questions?
So,
Kosta?
yes, I'm here. Wow, it's been amazing. We have to continue. It's like a school here. We're learning a lot.
That Glastonbury tour on your picture, yeah?
Yeah, good one, yeah. Glastonbury Tor and the sun above Chumagna Lake.
Okay.
You know,
Because the Taurus is a representation of the center realm, isn't it? It's the Taurus again, the Glastonbury Taurus.
Taurus, yes, Taurus fields.
Yeah, they
Taurus,
tell
everything
you
is
Glastonbury was the center of the world, but it's just another representation. And if you look at
It's a
Glastonbury,
Mecca.
you'll find out it's actually twin town with Ethiopia, the other motherland, you know? They're all conjoined, there's all tricks everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, many of the words you said, I think maybe 70% are Greek, basically. They're said into English.
Wow.
So the ones I noticed was the ones with the G letters in them, because we don't have G in Greek. So the G is a completely English letter.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly where it comes from. I'm not such a scholar. I don't think I'm any.
It might possibly just be a representation, a symbol, a hieroglyph added in. We used to have, how many letters in alphabet? Was it 25, 24?
Oh, yeah.
24, yeah.
But going back to what you're saying, you don't have a G in your alphabet, but
No. Yeah.
I'm guessing you've got a word that sounds like G.
It would be an N, T, and a Z. Three. Not vowels. What's the opposite? Vowels and
Consonants.
Consonants. Yes, could be three consonants together to make the G sound.
Right. So
Trinity.
So it's the Trinity, right?
And the Trinity. Yeah.
So it comes back to the same thing. So J in Greek is the same as G in English. It's not phonetically written the same, but the sound means the same thing.
Yeah, the sound is the same. Yeah, you have to put
And
three.
also you found the Trinity within the G, so you know it's the G. Again, if you know what I'm saying, there's the Trinity in your language or Greek. You got the G represents the God here, you know?
The Trinity here as well, the G. The feminine and the masculine.
Yeah, so the G also, if you have the lowercase G is like a tie. It ties together, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When you turn it like ties. So the
So
G
like
in
GJ.
Yeah, you turn it around. So in words like marriage, for example, in Greek would be gamos. Gamos is the gamma. So the G, I mean, all the Greek words that have G in them in English, like English, England, okay, is Anglia. Anglia, it's a double gamma. And the gamma is a third letter, so alpha, beta, gamma. And the alpha is the projection of the light of the sun.
Alpha,
and the light
masculine.
Coming towards the earth, okay? And then the beta is a spiraling light coming towards the earth. And the gamma is when the light lands on earth, and it's a gamos, it's a marriage. It's a marriage.
Holy matrimony. True.
Holy matrimony. There you go. Holy matrimony.
That's true. The mother's tron is the electronic field. It's the know my mother's tron. Holy matrimony.
It's a holy matrimony. That's where it is a ram.
Wow.
That's beautiful, Kosta. Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm into this. The G is, for me, is a beautiful letter, and all the sounds. Basically, we have acquired
genius.
Sound-wise, English is a good vibrational sound.
Yep.
Of the language.
Yes.
Because you use
poetry, rhyming.
Rhyming, yes, you have a good sound, because Greek, what they speak now, in Greece, it's not so good. It lost its original ancient form. It's been perverted from the ages, especially from the time in 1800s around there. Had a lot of influence from the French. I guess the French occultists or English as well. They wanted to break down the language. I mean, it's serious stuff we're talking about. It's not just the knowledge goes deep, and they wanted to break down. So the Greek people now cannot say English, for example.
Yeah,
Okay,
French.
Yeah, that's
French.
right, yeah.
That's a good point, Kosta. French was the first breakaway language from the original languages. That makes sense. So the original languages like Greek, Hebrew, Latin, right? French was the first one that broke that code. Right? And all the other languages that come out of French. English is ish out of French. All the other languages. So you're right. Spanish.
That's why Lundi, Mardi, Mercredis. It's all the planets. Yeah. Lundi, Moon, Tuesday,
Lunar,
Mars, Tuesday, Mercury.
And the moon, and the moon in Greek has a couple of names, maybe 3 names: Fengari and Selene. Fengari is like illuminate. It means illumination. And Selene has to do with Celas. It's the northern lights.
Celestial.
Wow.
Yeah, the northern lights. So it means from Mount Meru, from Shambhala, is Mercury, like you said before.
Brilliant.
The projection of Mercury.
Brilliant.
Yes, excellent.
Well, mate.
Beautiful.
So I think we have to do another one of this hangout. It was amazing. It's a lot to say.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Really enjoy it, guys. Thanks a lot.
It's been lovely.
It has.
I've really enjoyed the way that you've been breaking the words down, because sometimes this stuff gets so complicated, but you didn't make it complicated. You made it for everyone to understand. So very much appreciate that, Martin and Josh.
Yeah, I'm sorry as well. We didn't really have anything pre-planned, and there's so many words that I have, but they just weren't brought with us. So it was all off the top, and they were buried deep. So apologies if it was kind of a bit skippy in my head, like a broken record, you know.
The chat room have loved it, and people have been asking Josh if you've got a channel.
Only the ether.
Ether.
Only the ether. You can meet me there any night. Just work hard at all this and you'll see me there.
Oh, I really hope that you'll come back to Sun and Moon though, and do maybe the Sun and the Moon one.
Yeah. Well, what we're going to do is we're thinking of opening another YouTube channel that's not together. That's going to be for the initiators, for the people who want a bit more depth. I can't teach a lot of this stuff on my Flat Earth channel because I'm trying to appeal to as many people as I can. It's more based on trying to wake people up with conscious knowledge. This is now subconscious. This is now, it's above that. It's beyond that.
It's below but above.
Yeah. So we're going to open a channel that is going to be more based on this occult knowledge. It's going to be very deep. We're going to be talking about magic. We're going to be experimenting with magic, showing people as things develop. We're going to be talking about food, showing how food transforms us, detox, getting ready for 2020. It'll be a channel dedicated to that myself and Josh will do.
Yeah. And if anybody's interested in and starts the idea of this, I mean, me and Martin have had the conversation that pre 2020 next year, possibly if there's enough interest, 2020 vision extraction from the Matrix ceremony. We'll try and hire out a big arena, and if we can get enough people interested, then we'll have like a 5-6 hour talk there and try and go through beginning to end before the date, to allow everybody to raise vibrations if they're resonating at the same frequency as us.
Yeah.
If people are interested. So yeah.
Lots going on.
Let us know.
Can I just say, Teresa put Marty Moon, Martin, and then Chilster said great viewing. Mark says it was fine, Josh, but we want more, pal. Sidney says, can you talk about the Akashite field next time? Sorry if
No, maybe.
No, we'll leave that. But I want to leave everybody. I think we'll leave that for next time because the Akashic record is
next time. Gumshoe says awesome. Midnight Gardener says top stuff. I'm just going through some of the messages that have been put into the room. Cosmic Cat says thank you. CD says great presentation. Amanda says I'm definitely need to watch this again. All the comments are 100% positive.
Brilliant.
Right.
Excellent.
Quick word here for everybody to go on the illusions, okay? Everybody has them at the moment. The U, sine wave, ions. The ions in your sine wave are ill.
Not well.
The illusion is not well. And even backwards, you'll know this word has true cement when you say the noise, which is the frequency of U, is a lie. Lie. Noise, U, lie, ill, U, Zion, or S, ion, which is the frequency of ions.
Illusions.
We need to get rid of all of our illusions, guys. And that's what the word's telling us itself, subconsciously. Forwards, backwards, intertwined. It's been really nice talking to everybody today.
Yes, the chat room will still say. Richard Burke says great stuff. Marie says awesome, thank you. And it just goes on. Ben goes, whoa. It just goes on. Everything is very positive. And I just like to say thank you very much. What's really nice about you two is that there's no ego thing going on. You're not going me in the middle of it. You've done a really and thank you.
My family here. This is family, mate. This is pure love here. This is amazing. All we want to do is spread it and love. Just...
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And build from here.
Yeah.
If we say goodbye on air, can we just say goodbye off air?
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just say goodbye to each other off air. Chat room, I really hope that you've enjoyed Martin and Josh, and thank you very much, guys, and thank you very much, chat room, and we're back tomorrow. So thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Thanks.
Our pleasure.
You're welcome.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Bye,
Thank you so much.
Mwah to the chat room and mwah to the panel. So see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Martin and Josh. That was brilliant.
Welcome.
No problem.